Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the round 5 of the 30th Abu Dhabi Chess Festival 2024 in the capital of UAE, city Abu Dhabi. And today, my co host is going to be Grandmaster Viorel Iordescu.
And thank you, Maria, for inviting me. It is always a pleasure to be here with you to make some comments about the tournament. And today is round 5. So, what do you think? How is the tournament so far? We
First,
have we have no sole leaders. We have many players with
yeah.
3.5 out of 4. And what do we expect today?
Okay, first of all, it's always a pleasure to have you in the
Thank you
studio.
very much.
And yes, we have actually 14 players
Wow.
with the same points. So we have basically 7 boards leading the tournament.
All right.
14 players with the 3.5 points out of 4. And what are your expectations? Do you think we are going to have a lot of draws today, or
Well, this is usually what happens in the open tournament when grandmasters are meeting each other. Yeah,
yes?
so it's tough games, no big mistakes, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Some short draw possibles, but I don't believe because here we have high stakes,
Yes.
high prizes, and it's very important to score points, to score as many as you can because basically, I mean, we have many prizes here, but let's say first three are very, let's say, juicy, interesting
Yeah, they
for
are.
players.
Let's remind that the winner of the tournament is going to walk home with $30,000.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
the highest prize fund here in Emirates, and we are expecting a big fight for such a huge prize money.
and we are seeing a big fight, to be honest. Shall we go to check what is happening on the first board, where top seed Amit Abadabe is playing with the black pieces against David Paravian from Russia?
Yeah,
And well, e4, c5, knight f3, d6.
okay, good.
Okay, and yeah, we have knight c6.
Yeah, this Rouser or Richter-Rouser system, and usually white, yeah, plays bishop g5
Mm-hmm.
to put some pressure on knight f6, preventing the move g6. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
who knows? Maybe black was intending to play the dragon variation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if let's say if white plays any other move than bishop g5,
Yes, let's
then
say bishop
bishop
e3,
e2,
e2
bishop,
or 3.
yeah, then g6, and you got
G6
a good version
of dragon,
of dragon, yeah.
because the bishop is in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
yeah, not a very aggressive
Yeah.
one as white. Yeah, and let's say other moves like, I don't know, f4, a4, any other move, g6 is
Mm-hmm.
possible too. So
Yeah.
bishop g5,
Bishop g5 preventing g6, e6 was played,
yes.
queen d2, a6. Are we having another hedgehog soon somewhere?
Okay, this is just the move a6 is just
Yeah.
to prevent the move knight b5.
Knight b5.
Yeah, and also to play the typical move b5. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
exchanging on d4 and then b5, trying to play b4 to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to attack the knight.
Knight c6 was played.
A very rare move, very
Yes.
rare move. But I know that modern engines, they simply like this. They like this
Mm-hmm.
this exchange on c6. It looks a little bit strange, yeah. Voluntarily, you open the b file.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably white will castle long, but in the same time, it's not easy for black to advance in the center. Yeah, if you play d5, always e5.
Mm-hmm.
If you play e5, the pawn on this is might be a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
White plays the bishop on c4, b3, and protecting the queen side.
Yeah.
And yeah, first I saw this idea in the game of Leko against Morozevich in a slightly different position, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, this idea became like kind of common, I mean, and typical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to change on c6, closing the c file. By the way, this is also
Yeah.
an advantage. Yeah, but from the other hand, of course, black got center. I mean, central pawn formation, and I don't believe this can be bad for black.
Yeah.
What do you think? So
Well, I'm pretty sure that they are both prepared very well for this line. And as you said, White is planning to put the bishop on b3 at some point. So white did a long castle.
Yeah.
Bishop b7 and h4 was played.
Yeah, quite a typical move, and maybe just prophylactic against some, I don't know, tactics like, I don't know, h6, knight e4, knight e5, I don't know. Okay, good.
And queen a5 was played.
All right.
And king b1. And this is our current position.
Yes, and I know here a famous trick. Let's say if you castle with black,
Yeah.
so the trick is the move knight d5. That's why king b1
Nice.
was played, just to
Nice.
avoid queen takes d2 with check. So no check, and white
Yeah,
captures.
the king ran
and then,
away. And a free piece for
and
white.
by the way, and at the end, the h4 moves was very important in this combination. Because if you take, no, I mean, yeah, just a small continuation. Yeah, and if you take in the end, like knight takes e4, this is not a double attack because the
Yeah.
bishop on g5 is, okay,
I
white
can
take
just
with,
take with the bishop.
yeah, of course you can take with the bishop, yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
just want to make a small demonstration that h4 is useful.
That is
Yeah.
right. That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
yeah,
Nice prophylactics.
yeah,
King b1, rook b8 was played. Do you think are we going to see bishop c4, bishop
for
b3
sure,
now?
for sure. I believe this is the move,
Yes.
and yeah, and black probably will try to hunt or attack this bishop by playing c5, c4. I don't know if immediately like castle or c5, bishop b3, rook b4, follow it by c4 or bishop b7 first. Or
Let's check. Bishop c4.
okay,
Also
maybe not.
there's d5.
Yeah, d5. Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
And yeah, bishop to b3.
Bishop to b3.
And can black take the pawn? What do you think
Only
about?
4. Oof,
Yeah,
looks...
it's a free pawn. No,
Okay, let's
or nothing
try.
is free.
Let's
Yeah.
try. Is there simply 94?
Well, and if queen takes queen, then just knight takes back. Yeah, yeah, it's good. Yeah, and white is just better because of structure and.
Apparently there were better moves.
Yeah.
What if bishop?
Bishop takes bishop or pawn? No, probably pawn because if bishop queen c6.
But now I take on e4 maybe.
And now you take and then this
Do
is
I have something better? There are no checkmates.
Well.
Maybe.
At least not even
Maybe
queen.
queen f4.
Oh, double attack, but queen e5.
Queen e5.
And now you can take the
Now
pawn.
I can take.
And okay, it's very hard to understand the small details, the difference between taking immediately or taking on e5, changing the structure.
Yeah,
but
those are hard positions.
okay, maybe something like queen h6 more aggressive. Intending to play
Yes.
queen g7 and then...
And then the king is still in the
Well,
center.
yes.
And black might face some problems.
Yeah, also white can play a very, let's say, cynic way, just playing queen g7, taking the pawn on h7, and marching with the pawn till the h8, h8, like h5, h6. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, this might be an option. So maybe after bishop c4. By the way, are there ideas like h6 or you're going to take on f6 or you're going to go back with the bishop?
Well, here is probably very
Bishop
concrete.
f4.
I mean, if takes on f6, what I have seen, bishop takes. I just want a small demonstration.
Yeah.
And if queen d6, rook takes b2.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, let's try.
Nice.
I mean,
It is a checkmate, no? If the king captures, then...
How it is exactly? King c1?
Wait, could I do the same?
And then
Interesting.
I can be brave and go to b3
And
if you
even
take
if
with
I
the
take
bishop.
with the bishop, you simply play
King b1.
even king c1.
King
works.
c1, king b1, king b3.
Yeah, because the queen is simply blocking all the squares that the black's queen is intending to get in. Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
black can't castle. So taking with the queen then, and just take it, and then bishop queen takes bishop maybe.
And there's no checkmate.
Chess is a very simple game
But-
sometimes.
Okay, the king is still in the center. Is there queen c7 castle? If I move the queen, you're castling.
Yeah.
Can I try to bring the rook to
Well, then my next move is bishop e7
bishop e7, queen
and-
c7?
and queen bishop a3. You play rook h3,
Yes.
preventing. This is nice. Okay. So if bishop e7, queen c7 still, my bishop is trapped.
It is hanging, and if you do a castle, this one is hanging, yeah.
All right, so no bishop e7. Then what else can black play instead of this? Maybe queen. Oh, where to move the queen? No, not so many squares. Not so many squares to move the queen.
Well,
Queen a4, but I don't really understand the move.
queen a4, rook b3.
And now bishop e7. And if queen c7, bishop a3 check and castle.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, but
Queen a4 to protect the a3 square.
yeah.
But well.
But rook a3. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Rook a3, right?
Yeah, just
And then again.
right away. Yeah. So not easy position. Yeah, not an easy position
Nope.
for black. I mean. Okay, and instead of queen a4, what else black can play? So black made this beautiful combination with rook b2.
Maybe a5.
Took the bishop back a5 to develop the bishop on a6. Okay.
No, I wanted to take
rook
queen
b3.
a6.
Rook b3. Let's continue your idea.
Bishop e7.
And queen c7.
Queen c7, queen a6, and the same, rook b8.
What? Yeah. Too many bishops are
Wait,
hanging.
bishop a3.
Oh
bishop
yeah, and
a3
castle. Okay.
So, rook b6.
Or can I be fancy? No, I can't. Yeah.
Is there even rook d3?
I wanted to play rook d7, but okay, it's too much.
Too aggressive, huh?
Too aggressive.
Now I want to give
and
a
what
checkmate.
about castle? I
If
take the
castle,
bishop.
I take the bishop.
All right. Yeah. Simple and strong. Simple and strong. Yes.
By the way, yes, bishop c4 was played after rook b8 in the game.
Okay, so we can go. Yeah, this is the most, let's say, logical continuation.
Yeah.
Just to put the bishop on b3, protecting everything. Yeah, and here was the move h6, bishop f6, and so on.
Yeah, we just checked h6, but of course black doesn't have to play h6, but black has to make a choice now.
No, but once again, this
castle.
Well, castle is always a good move. Yeah. And knight d5. This is
again.
repetition
yes,
is mother.
Yes. Again.
yeah, again and again. So h6 one more time, because this was really interesting. So take queen d6, rook b2. I think that queen takes.
Queen c3 is kind of forced. King c1,
and
is the
here,
only move.
here can black just continue the attack without capturing?
Oh, is there bishop e7 now? Queen c6.
Yeah, now I'm thinking just can I
yes, you take, and I played rook h3.
No,
right?
instead of taking, can I just say, okay, I'm happy with the draw.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm happy with the draw and just play queen b2 check, king d2, queen c3.
Now
Do you accept the draw, Maria? You don't, yeah? Okay.
I have to think about it.
But now take the bishop with check.
Yeah. So white has to accept to the draw. King e2, queen c4 check.
And yeah, and
if you move your king, now I just play bishop a6.
And you're blocking the rook. I mean, the rook doesn't come to h3.
Yeah.
But still, maybe the position is not.
It's not that clear. It's not that easy. Is there a move like e5?
e5. What is your intention?
I want to protect the bishop if I get a chance to play queen e6.
Next queen e6 and then bishop e7, and somehow you manage to.
Right now my next move is bishop e7.
Bishop e7
but
and
there
then
is queen e5. So queen e6 is my next move, yeah.
Yeah, looks strong. Looks strong. I don't know what to say. Queen e6 and also threatening queen g4 something.
h6 was played in the game, by the way.
Okay, great.
Okay, h6 was played in the game, and do you think we are going to see chess like this?
I think they're just following our commentaries,
Yes.
our live coverage, and they are listening to our advices. So this is what I'm thinking. So yeah, we can play in the tournament. We have this level. We could have. Yeah, but okay. So this
everyone keep asking me, by the way, why you are not playing in the tournament? Why you are not playing in the tournament? What is your answer when you get this question, or you don't? I'm sure you do.
No, I was, of course, I was. Yeah, but okay. My answer is very simple. I mean, if you want to get, like really good results as a coach, You
Yeah,
need to focus on it. Simply need to focus on it.
exactly.
You cannot spread your time, energy, and have ambitions as a player at the same time
Exactly, yeah.
to train the kids. So yeah,
It's very hard. Even when I try to play like a blitz tournament, when I have my students around, I cannot concentrate.
yeah, it is really hard. It is really hard. Yeah. So okay, so this is a big fight on top board.
Yes, well, I think if bishop f6 happens, it is going to take a while
Mm-hmm.
to see interesting game. On the second board,
Okay, this looks like the game from a blitz from a blitz game from a blitz tournament
maybe it was blitz,
played somewhere like I don't know, or bullet.
but they didn't blitz. So Pranav is playing against Jawahir Sindarov, and e4, c5. We have
And fianchetto the bishop. Yeah, what is this b3? Okay, it is a possible move. Yeah,
yes.
just avoiding the main, let's say, lines of Sicilian. b3. Okay, and a6 bishop to b2.
d5. Black is taking the center. Queen e2 check. Well, bishop e6.
So white is intending to castle long.
g3.
I not. I thought like knight c3 castle long. No.
Oh, it's going to the short side, and yeah, this is our current position. And maybe white is thinking the same. To castle long or short.
Yeah. Or maybe first to develop the knight to a3 and c4. Because
Yes.
why or maybe just knight a3, keep him the
Knight
options.
a3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're playing with your opponent also. Your opponent is trying to guess, are you going to castle on the long side or short
Right.
Kaya side? But castle was played. Short
Uh-huh.
castle. And
Okay.
later, what do you think? We're going to see c3 or d3?
Or maybe knight e5 first, trying
Yes.
to activate the bishop. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because probably black's knight on c6 is a strong piece, protecting the center, protecting the queen side. And what I see here is black is a little bit underdeveloped. I mean, the king side is not really. I mean, black needs some moves like knight f6, bishop e7, castle.
Bishop
So
e7 was
meanwhile,
played,
yeah, not knight f6 because knight g5.
Yeah.
And here I'm expecting knight e5, because if d3, knight f6, knight d2, I mean, black manages to complete his king size development. So knight e5.
Black is 2 moves away from
Yeah.
having a very nice position.
Oh, there is another typical idea. No, I wanted to play b4, this fancy move,
yeah.
but no. Just in the style of Benko gambit and so on.
Yes. Still, can I
Yeah,
ask
c3
you
c3 is absolutely normal. Yeah, knight
Let's say
f6
knight f6, I capture, take, and
and jumping. Yeah,
jump maybe now.
jump now.
Because I cannot take the pawn. Even if I attack, I am not going to take the pawn. Am I?
Not really. Castle, knight d4,
Yeah.
bishop c5,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a pin there. So knight e5 and
Knight f5 looks pretty logical.
here or there or after c3, and
Is there bishop d5 kind of a move?
well, taking on c6.
Right.
You
And
don't
it
care about
takes.
structure, no?
I do,
You do, yeah. Knight a3,
but I'm trying
and knight
to
comes
stop.
to c4, and then we have this Nimzo staff
Yeah,
position.
I just
then,
blundered knight c6
Uh-huh.
intermezzo, yeah.
So then what black can do instead? Instead of bishop d5, what else? Taking is not an option, because then queen takes and double attack. So what should black play here?
I shall show for the viewers
Takes
that
and
everything is hanging, but
but you know, if you take on g7, your queen is trapped. Just
so I simply have to protect the pawn on b7.
right.
Okay, queen d7,
Perfecto.
and if
then
queen g7, bishop f6. Oops.
oopsie daisies. Yeah, so this is so queen
Yeah.
d7 and the and now b4 finally. Oh, so I wanted my idea to here maybe. And
Do I have it? I
yeah, it's interesting. Okay, let's take the pawn. And again, you trap the queen. Yeah. No, you don't. No, you don't trap the queen. No.
Yeah, you have the
I
squares.
have squares there. A7,
Okay,
b6.
let's continue a little bit more. Rook
C2
c8.
hangs also. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Queen. Then my bishop on b2 is kind of. Yeah, but it's not okay. Queen. I don't know. Let's say b6.
Queen b6. Okay, let me
And
be
I'll-
greedy.
And me too. I'll go greedy. Bishop takes b7 if I can.
So I cannot take on b2 because bishop c6.
Yeah, that was
and
my.
if I play, wait a minute.
If you play knight e7, my intention was to play bishop e. Ah, I cannot. Now you want to take.
Yeah.
Okay, bishop a3 looks a little bit. Not really.
Knight d5 might be a
Great.
move after.
Now knight d5 I'm not worried about because I'll take on a6 with the queen. So bishop a3 but castles.
Bishop a3, castles, and now
Yeah.
rook b8 wants to be played.
Right, queen I can take the pawn now. I cannot. Queen a6, bishop c4 is coming.
Okay, maybe I shall just move the bishop.
With on e4, yeah.
On e4, yeah.
And d3, oh.
D3.
And bishop comes to d4 and
Yes,
pawn
yes.
d2 hangs and
If you get there, because you have to play knight c3, right? And
rook takes pawn.
rook takes
yeah.
the pawn.
Yeah, I'm down. This is
And yeah, next move is bishop d4.
so back a little bit, yeah. So queen
I think
d7,
we
yeah.
went too far, right?
Solving problems by small tactic. So takes and queen d7. And queen d7 and no time to capture the pawns.
And if I manage to play knight f6, then castle, then black is fine.
Okay, white can play here, let's say simply knight a3, knight f6, knight c4. And small issue there on b6. And I don't know.
Maybe simply rook d8.
Rook d8 and I can't. Knight b6 is not
Knight
a queen
b6,
trap.
queen
No.
b5.
Yeah, no, knight b6 just wasting time.
Yeah.
And queen c7, I don't know, looks risky. Looks
Queen
risky.
c7.
I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Well. But interesting positions. Bishop e7 was played.
And white is thinking
And
probably.
now
Yeah.
white is thinking, yeah. White is taking his time. There are options. There are a few problems that need to be fixed. There are a few ways to continue. Let's say simply develop the knight. Or try to open up the bishop and use the fact that the black's king is still in the center.
Yeah, correct.
And maybe white is trying to find some concrete ways to continue with this. But, well, shall we come back to this game?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, shall we go to
To-
the board number? Shall we check what happened on the first board?
Yeah, after
rook
bishop
b8?
c4, h6, and this is
Bishop f4 was played. Okay, they didn't go for the crazy lines. Yeah,
So-
this was the first move that came. To my mind, what if e5?
then something like bishop e3 follow, and now it's not so easy to play the d5 move. So white plays the bishop d3, bishop b3, f3, g4. This standard attack, and yeah.
Well, I
Typical attack.
expect to see a very interesting game on this board, to be honest, today. Because I can already feel that we are going to have either black's king in the center or short castle, and white already decided where his king is going. So in both ways, there are going to be some tactical
yeah.
opportunities, some interesting ideas. We're going to see a lot of mates. We're going to give a lot of mates in this position. I have a feeling of it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm not sure if it will happen or no, but I see us finding the checkmates in every corner. Shall we move to the board number 3?
Yeah. Here we have another Bekia Kuboyev plays with black
Bharat,
pieces
yeah.
against Bharat. Sorry, so many good Indian players,
Yes,
and
exactly.
really I don't know all of them. Because they are just rising from, like you don't even have time to
Follow up.
follow. Exactly, it's like amazing boom
Yeah.
boom in India.
One day they are kids, and the other day they are winning tournaments. And
Right. So
Yeah.
so the
knight c6.
the biggest example is the I mean, the World Championship match challenger,
Yes, yes.
who is, yeah.
18 years old.
Will they play this year
Yes,
or
yes.
yeah,
This
this
year,
year, yeah, the end
November.
of November this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So where will be the match? Do you know some?
Uh,
Is there like any official
there is
information
an
about
official information. To be honest, I forgot.
India or Singapore?
Singapore,
Singapore,
I
yeah.
think it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This they had like a,
Yes, yes, Singapore. Yeah.
Singapore. Okay, it's a nice place
Yes.
for to play chess, and I think even in here in the tournament we have a player representing Singapore.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah, and I think that he is playing today with one of our player, or one of you of our UAE player. I think with Abdurrahman, if I'm not
Your
mistaken.
student.
If I'm
We'll
not
check.
mistaken, yeah, we'll check later. So
We
here we
will
have
check.
Classico 4 knights.
Classical 4 knights, D4. This is the opening that I keep seeing in UAE.
Yes.
And yeah,
Probably-
okay, bishop before. I analyzed this position a little bit for
Okay, Maria. So let's.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're the
remember
specialist
much already,
here.
But
Yeah.
95, Queen E7. I
Show
think
us
that's
some
correct.
insight. Some yeah.
Queen D3,
Looks.
Bishop C3, Queen C3, Knight E4. Queen E3, Knight D6, Bishop D3, and F6. I think they are going.
Well, this is.
They left the main line, I think, at some point. But
Well, I like white. I mean,
Queen
bishop's
E3,
pair. What is black's
It's
compensation
because,
against of this bishop's pair?
Black has a choice, right, to go either to this line,
Right.
which seems to be a pretty fine.
So actually,
castle.
black was the side of breaking
Yes,
the let's say the main things.
Yes.
Yeah.
but bishop b4 without capturing on d4 is one of the lines. I tried to show this to my students and they refused to play it
Yeah.
because there was so many
And
things
also,
to
why why do you sacrifice a pawn without any, let's say, clear?
Well,
Yeah.
you get your pawn back.
You get your pawn back. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what exactly happened here. And this knight d6, knight c6 reminds me of Berlin opening, Berlin variation of Ruy Lopez. And here probably white will just
Just capture on c6.
and d takes c6, and black is intending to play bishop f5, trading bishops. Yeah, this famous rule. Okay.
Yeah.
And probably black should, I mean, white should, let's say, play c3, bishop f5, bishop e2. This is what I am always teaching my kids. Yeah, when you have bishop's pair, do not change bishops. Avoid
Yeah.
change bishops and keep the bishop's pair.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is
Back
okay.
to basics. Right?
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's like very important to time to
To remind.
of course, because you don't really think like you are, oh, okay, I'm moving the piece back, what is this exactly, but it's just the basic, you keep the bishop's pair.
Yeah.
And I think here white can hope for some, I don't know, slight, let's say, edge in the end game.
Just to try to play with the two bishops and see what's going to happen, right? By the way, on the fourth board we have Indian match, and it's Raunak playing against Adiban. And yeah, we didn't check Adiban's game in this tournament yet.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, now this is the time, the
Now
right
this
time
is
to
the
do.
right time to do it.
Yeah, so he's very creative with a lot of
He is.
ideas. Okay, last, let's say, years he is not that successful as before,
Yeah.
as a let's say I mean in a practical way and as two results. But anyway, he's a very interesting player with a lot of ideas. I mean, basically,
Yes.
if you check his games, you find many aggressive, many interesting. Okay, and probably this is the way, yeah, he plays today, even today.
Yeah. But by the way, I was just checking his rating. He lost a lot of rating. I have to
Yeah, this
mention
is what I am
yeah.
saying, that probably now he's concentrating more on his, let's say, theoretical, maybe helping others.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
this
so.
and this is always, yeah, you need to understand, if you start helping others,
Yeah, then that's it.
you lose your let's say strength, your practical
Ability to
yeah. So okay, but yeah.
Bishop d3, okay. Knight b3.
And bishop a7.
Bishop
And this was the
e7.
opening that I was playing as a child, like queen g4, knight f6,
Uh-huh.
and queen takes g7, rook g8, queen h6, bishop takes f2,
Aha.
and this was like,
Uh-huh.
or knight g4 pass, but bishop takes f2, and now this was
And
the trick.
yeah, of course,
And now
white
you
cannot
have,
take, and your opponents were taking on f2, and you were happily forking the king
yeah,
and the queen, right?
yeah, yeah,
Again, one of the dreams to go to game
yeah,
and be like,
exactly.
yeah, I hope my opponent falls for this. But
Of course, queen takes g7 is not really necessary. So what else? What white played here? Queen
queen
e2,
e2,
trying to play bishop e3.
knight e7,
It's a typical idea, and then
bishop
c4,
e3.
and probably we'll see another this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hedgehog structure.
By the way, I just remembered last year in Abu Dhabi Festival again. I think it was the pre-last round, and Adiban was going pretty fine. And in one game, he was completely winning.
Right?
Completely winning, okay? And he blundered a stalemate.
Wow, really?
No, he could do a draw. I think he even lost that game. I think he even lost that
He
game.
could draw
yeah.
a draw by stalemate.
He was completely winning.
Right.
And there was some things happened. I remember it very. I'll try to find it
Okay.
during the break to show you
Yeah.
what
It's
happened in
very
the game.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I need to find to show you what happened in the
Okay.
game because it was
Good.
crazy. And yeah, when you say that when a player is starting helping others and loses the practical skills, let's say, it's a good example, and you can say that it was not Adiban that we know was playing. But I hope he's gonna play a very good tournament in this tournament. He's very creative. He's very talented. And he's leading. I mean,
Yeah.
2.5 points, 3.5 points out of 4. The whole tournament is yet to happen. Castle, knight c3.
So no
b5.
hedgehog. White is in
No
a very
hedgehog,
aggressive
yeah.
mood. I'm playing with castle long, I think. Yeah.
e5.
And e5 first.
Yes,
yeah.
because Raunak played a very nice game yesterday, so maybe he came today with a good mood with the white pieces.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course.
why not? Let's go.
Especially when my opponent gives me such an opportunity, like to
Yeah.
attack, to have this, to activate the bishop from d3.
Knight
Okay.
c6, f4,
Okay.
and b4 was played. And this is the current position.
Inviting, yeah,
Inviting
to come to e4. This
to
is
come to e4.
well, this is very strange because I thought that white wants to go to play knight to e4 next move, yeah,
Yeah,
and black is just simply ignoring this and just not even ignoring, inviting,
Yeah.
which is a little bit
Shall
well,
we check why? Maybe he has some idea.
so
Is there knight f5 kind of a move here?
right, or maybe bishop takes bishop and knight d5 with tempo.
Yes.
But I
maybe.
don't believe it. Queen g3. I'm just
Queen g3.
coming closer to your king, and and again my typical idea: castle short, rook f3, queen. So you can do
Rook
this.
f3 or
Yeah,
rook
yeah,
h3.
exactly. You can do this in every single position. It's like something that.
We are going to have this in every game. I already know.
Yeah,
Every day we are
Yeah,
going
exactly.
to try.
You just bring the rook to h3 and sacrifice the bishop on h7 and give checkmate.
And give checkmate. Checkmate.
Yeah, actually, chess is very simple game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to be like very inventive to know many ideas. You just need to know why one idea and
Yeah.
to play it in every single position.
Exactly. Exactly. 'Cause why not?
Yeah, exactly. So this is the method. So we, as a coach, I really recommend this. Just play simple.
Just
Bring
play
the rook.
simple, bring the rook, checkmate.
Yeah,
Sacrifice, checkmate.
Exactly. So b4 and white is thinking. Yeah.
Before and white is thinking. What he's thinking about? That's the question now.
Well, I mean,
It's not my pieces, right?
yeah, knight comes
I
to
try?
e4. Then knight comes to g5. It looks.
Uh,
I'm already afraid of what do you want to try, Maria?
that doesn't work, obviously. Cause
Bishop h7 and knight
Yeah,
e4, yeah. So
yeah,
you're,
bishop h7, queen h5, then knight e4, but there is simply f6. And
so you're even in more aggressive mood than me, trying to give away the bishop immediately and come bring the knight. Okay, we can try. Let's try.
let's try.
Let's try. So check, and knight e4. First check.
First check, because
Okay.
knight e4 I saw like
Yeah.
g6. And knight e4, but f6. Looks fine.
Le petit little move, yeah.
One more time, if for the viewers, if the bishop takes the bishop, knight g5, is this a checkmate? This is a
Right.
checkmate,
Yes.
right?
Knight g6 doesn't
Yeah.
help. Rook e8. How do you checkmate me after rook e8?
Maybe queen f7 first?
And
No,
then-
no. So, rook e8,
Yes. Okay, you can take the pawn and come back. Just
I can just do
yeah, I
it,
can
but
do
I
this.
wanted to keep this square occupied in
Oh
case
yeah,
if
oh
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to bring the
And to
knight
make
here.
this how
But
yeah.
it wasn't working because the king was getting the square. But maybe that's enough. Check, check. Knight g8.
What do you mean
No,
enough?
no, it's not enough. Yeah.
Enough? Well,
No, no, no. F6 square is
you
taken. So
are still a piece down. So
yeah, yeah. But
it's
there has to be something. Checkmate. Where is the checkmate? Ah, I can just
yes, and
win
king
the
back
queen.
and then again and again.
Huh? Okay. Now check.
Yeah.
No, no. Apparently no. Okay. What is the way?
Sorry, but maybe again rook f1, rook f3, rook h2. This is like you just
Why
okay.
not?
I'm here just to say one plan, one word. Yeah, rook f3, rook h3. So thank you for inviting me. And now I know my role here exactly.
But maybe that's right. That's the. What is the black's next move?
No, I don't know.
Bishop b7.
I'm just trying
Really?
to get some fun, but maybe it's not such a bad move, such a bad idea, and it works. So once I'm just keep repeating. You need to know in chess one idea. It's just enough to win a game.
F4, rook f3, sacrifice, rook h3, queen comes, checkmate. That's it.
Yeah. And how do you defend? By the way,
No,
how do you defend
the
this
shouldn't
position?
should be winning because rook f3, rook h3 is coming. By the way, in the game, knight a4 was played,
Well,
which is a very interesting choice.
okay, playing for b6 square, but why not knight e4, which looks much more natural and closer to the king. The goal of the game is to give checkmate to your opponent. It's very simple. I mean, again, you don't need to be very
Yeah,
inventive.
you're trying to move your pieces from point A to B as fast as you can.
Exactly.
And from A to B, I mean the king on the
Maybe
B.
something like f5, but this is already well.
I was scared of something. But
f5, knight can jump to d6. Maybe white can take en passant, and the king is weak. I mean, let's say take en passant and castle long.
Yeah.
And h7 is weak. I don't know. King is just and the same maneuver rook f1, rook h3 is coming. So well, maybe just a cool move like h6, but h6 is a. I mean, later on white can play g4, g5. Something we are missing, Maria.
I don't know. I'm
We
trying
are
to find.
really
maybe
missing
it's
something.
35 kind of.
Knight
moves,
g5.
G5.
Yeah, it's a good French structure. Well, what I'm thinking is
Again, maybe takes.
take and the knight jumps somewhere. Yeah, knight to
D5 or F5. This is the question now.
to d5, then queen g3, and
knight F5,
then-
queen F2.
why not to h3?
Okay.
I'm
Knight G5.
then queen h4 check.
Just
But
exchanged
but you
that
know, even this end game is white can be better, just controlling the square d6, c5. But of course, we don't want to black to trade queens. I don't know. Knight e4 looks like more natural.
looks natural, but
Yeah.
apparently he wants to. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. Maybe after captures, queen takes. He wants to still control f5 square, and as you said, wants to fight for the b6 square.
Yeah, probably white changed his mind and white wants to castle short and playing positionally with a3, trying to
Yeah.
to play on the queen side, exploring the weaknesses
He's
there,
not
here,
in a
there.
hurry.
Not in a hurry.
Rauna came to a studio yesterday, and while we were checking his game, there was interesting idea to sacrifice the queen. It was still winning, and I asked him, I was like, Raunak, why you didn't go for this?
Yeah.
And his answer was simple. He was like, yeah, I didn't need to calculate this kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
maybe he was lazy to calculate 94 here too. And was like, okay, let's just
but okay. I mean, of course, it's a practical decision. Yeah, just when you are a winning position, of course, you don't want extra, let's say, calculation. And I mean, if you have a simple way of winning,
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is it is always this is the school. I mean, if you have
Yeah.
checkmate in two or you can win a piece, you always should choose winning a piece because you know this. Did you know this
I tell
saying?
the opposite to my students, but
Really?
yeah.
If you have checkmate in two and you can win a piece, you always choose to win a piece. You know why?
Why?
Because it might be not checkmate in two.
Because is there a
Might be
chance
not.
that you will not win after being piece up?
No, but piece up, it's like a piece up. I mean, you cannot miss. You cannot miss a piece up. But checkmate in two, maybe you think it's a checkmate, but maybe not. Who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
you never know. You
Yeah,
never
your
know.
opponent can find a defense and
You
then.
never know.
And
By the way, I just saw something very interesting. We have Indian players on
Mhm.
board number 1, on board number 2, two Indian players on board number 3. Sorry, except the board number 1. Starting from board number 2, almost on every board we have an Indian player until the board number 8.
And what is your conclusion, Maria? Well, this is just statistics. It's like
just,
everywhere.
just
Okay.
checking, yeah. Just
Yeah,
bringing
no.
some information.
Yeah,
which
no, I
is,
think that's just the conclusion is very simple. There are
Yeah.
many good Indian players, and they have the grandmasters level, and they are leading, and they are winning almost every single tournament
Yeah.
here, there, in Europe, in Asia. It's like everywhere
Especially in Asia, in Europe.
in Europe.
We
Yeah,
can see that.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, so knight a4 was played, knight d5 was played, and bishop a7.
Bishop a7. Is there an intermezzo? Knight takes f4.
I think it shouldn't work because d3 is hanging now.
Right. So I want to have two
If
intermezzo,
queen e4, just for the viewers, knight d3.
and then takes the bishop.
And there's
Yeah.
no checkmate. What if I simply play bishop h7 now?
Yeah, bishop h7, queen e4, and then bishop moves to c5, and
Apparently this is not
Yeah.
it.
yeah, agree.
And maybe white has something even better.
The move to queen then I'll take the bishop on d3. No, bishop
Can I
h7.
just
Huh?
play queen f2 and protect my bishop?
But what about pawn
Okay,
on
right,
e5?
right.
I'll take on d3, take on e5.
Yeah.
No, bishop h7, queen e4, and move the bishop away. I believe is just enough for an advantage.
Yeah.
So let's move to other games.
Yeah, let's go to
Because
the game.
the leaders group
It's
is
a big.
yeah.
By the way, on the fifth board we have Narayanan S versus Clementi Sichev.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday in the time trouble, Sichev was simply repeating his moves. And he was playing against Aravind.
Yeah.
And okay, the position was not losing, but he couldn't find any idea. He was in big time trouble. A few times he did a move on 1 second. And apparently, eventually he won his game.
Really?
Yes.
So Aravind didn't repeat the moves and
Aravind was trying to improve his position because he was leading in time. He didn't have time trouble, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually Sichev won, but he was in time trouble the whole game.
Wow. Okay.
The whole game. He couldn't find moves. It was queen e3, queen g3, queen e3, queen g3, or somewhere else, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Wow, this is a surprising result because I
Yeah.
know Aravind is a very strong player. Actually, he's 2-7 plus already.
yes,
He's 2-7-0-1, I
he's
think.
2-7.
Yeah, and then he lost. Okay, it happens. It happens. I mean, this is an open tournament. I mean,
No, it is a good example that when you have stainless steel nerves and you sit, and if you're in time trouble and you understand that you cannot improve your position, all you have to do is to stand. I know it can be like very annoying, it can be unpleasant to do this, but sometimes this is what you have to do, and basically he was doing what he had to do. And the player with the black pieces was like, okay, my opponent doesn't have ideas, so I have to improve my position somehow. But it ended up in a way that it ended up. which
Yeah, you
is,
just-
very
I mean, it's
interesting,
very simple. Just continuing fighting, and and then you keep the tension,
yeah.
and maybe you have your chance. You can get your chance.
Yeah.
This is the situation. Okay, good. So what else? What do we have? I have the Queen's Gambit.
Ah, yeah.
It was a Queen's Gambit accepted, if I'm not mistaken. And
It was accepted Queen's Gambit.
yes, and a very calmly line with trade of queens. Okay, I know that let's say Magnus Carlsen is playing this one for a win. I mean, it's okay. It's no surprise that he plays this. Okay, yeah,
Captured. Queen D1. This is typical.
yeah.
book moves.
Okay, White lost the tempo by Rook E1, Rook D1. But from the other hand, I think the knight on C6 might be misplaced. These
For
are
now,
like
right?
small details,
Yeah.
yeah, because the knight on D7 might be better, and then knight B3, knight A4, trying to get to the B6 square.
There is also nuances with the to put the pawn on B6
Yeah,
or
and
B5.
if you play B5, then you have too many pieces on
Yeah.
C file hanging. Okay, so knight D2.
Castle, knight B3, bishop B4, bishop B2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rook D8, bishop D2, bishop D7, and this is the current position.
Well, it's just normal queen's gambit accepted endgame where only queens are off on the
Yep.
of the board, but the rest is just like normal middle game. White is trying to get to C5 square to B6.
Yep.
If you play B5, A4, but in the same time, not so many resources here. I mean, black's position, I believe, is just holdable. I mean,
It's not easy. I played these
Yeah.
positions with the black pieces a
Uh-huh.
long time ago. And yeah, I was enjoying it until one moment. But even in this position, the game was continuing and even exchanging the queens. It looks like very equal, but there are many ideas, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see them.
okay, good.
Sometimes black king doesn't even castle, like you can even put the king on e7 just to be closer to the center when you exchange more pieces.
Yeah.
But okay, this is the position and looks pretty normal, I would say. But of course, both sides are going to play. There will be some fight for a d file, some fight for the c file.
Yeah, also white can improve the structure, or king size structure by
Yeah.
playing f3, e4. This is also a typical idea, and then bishop comes to e3, controlling the dark squares. Yeah,
and after a3 also black will have to decide what it's going to do with the bishop, because again, if you take the knight, then you're basically giving away a pair of bishops, which is gonna be a big problem later for black. Not maybe very big, it depends how the game will go, but yeah. And after a3, if you take the bishop back, then white can always use the b6 square for the knight. Okay, knight a4 was played again. White is concentrating on b6 square.
is there a tactical way of liquidating the pieces, like knight d4? No. Okay, I want to be I wanted to be very aggressive today, but no, not always, not in every position.
In every position. Knight
Yeah.
a4, what was happening?
Okay,
Let's
I don't
check,
know, but
let's
simply it doesn't work. I don't know why, but it can.
It shouldn't work, right?
It shouldn't work. No.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's just probably losing a
Let's
piece.
just say the moves, like, to see what is happening.
Okay, the simplest way is pawn takes.
I think just
Knight takes.
knight
Pawn.
takes.
Okay, bishop
Or
a4 and bishop b4.
b4.
And if bishop
And
d2, bishop d7.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
if
here.
knight
Bishop
b6.
d2, knight b6.
Exchange.
Exchange. If you move the rook, then I simply take the bishop. Yeah.
Okay.
This is it. So knight d4 does not work.
What about bishop takes d2, rook d2, knight e4? Trying to centralize the knight. Who knows, maybe opponents blunder the rook. And rook d8, then rook d1, then what? Then again knight b6. Okay, maybe bishop e8. It's like typical square
Yeah,
for the
just
bishop. Knight
this
b6, rook b8, and
Maybe even take rook d8.
maybe take rook d8. Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to liquidate everything. And then knight comes to d6, protecting the only weakness on b7, and I believe black should hold that one. Okay, still not easy.
Well,
Still
we
not
can say
easy.
that black is okay with the draw.
Of
Like,
course,
we can say
of
it, yeah.
course, of course.
Black is okay with the draw. Shall we move to
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so Volodar Murzin is playing again today against Gautam Krishna. And well, yesterday he holded the position.
Yeah. I mean, I would say quite convincingly. I mean, he didn't face any, let's say, problem.
Yeah.
which is strange to me. This was like, I mean, white probably could put some much more problems. And yeah, and here we have what, a Najdorf, yeah,
Najdorf on the board and with f3,
yeah.
e6, g4. Yeah. b5.
Yeah, this a3 move, computer likes
Yeah.
this move. Usually, like we are very skeptical about this a3.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
creates a weakness, so on. But computer likes, and it just because the stability of the knight on c3 is much more important than the
Yeah.
pawn, this weakness on a3. But imagine like why black plays like knight d7, rook c8, and boom, rook takes c3. Especially when your king is castled
Yeah.
against
And
queen
a6
side,
is
and
gonna be
yeah,
handy
then
also.
you have all the weaknesses there. Okay, so
g5 was played.
good.
Knight d7, bishop e3, knight b6.
Yeah, black's plan is very simple. Knight d7, rook c8, knight e5, knight c4.
Knight d7, castle, rook c8. Yeah, this is the position. And Volodar is taking his time. By the way, yesterday also he was spending so much time in the game.
Yeah,
And knight c4 is on the way.
no, knight c4 is not that
No.
let's say
Dangerous.
dangerous because white takes and then just concentrating there. But knight e5 followed by knight c4, and if you move the queen, as I said, rook takes c3.
Okay, let's
It's
say
always-
white is trying to create
Yeah,
something.
then-
Knight e5,
Yeah.
f4.
Well, f4 it creates an extra weakness on e4 in
Yes.
some positions.
But even if I don't, okay, queen f2 maybe, but knight c4.
And then boom, no, rook c3. This is what I was.
There we go.
I
yes,
want to
yes,
sacrifice
yes,
some.
yes.
And if you take like d5, I don't
Mhm.
know. And finally, this is like a dream scenario for black. Yeah.
And a3 is
a3 hangs, square c4, queen comes to a5, knight to a4,
yeah, yeah.
and checkmate coronavirus was there. Do you remember actually? Yeah.
I do.
It was a series of tournaments
yes, checkmate coronavirus.
during the pandemics, yeah, and still in our club we have this saying like if something like a combination then checkmate coronavirus. Okay, yeah, some small reminding of old times.
Did chess help to checkmate the coronavirus?
Well, at least you didn't have like time of depressions and so
Yeah.
on. You just play chess. You enjoy your free time. You enjoying your I don't know, staying home and playing chess. Yeah, mainly. Yeah,
So you enjoyed your time
I
during
did.
coronavirus?
I did. Honestly, I did.
Me too.
Really,
to be
it
honest.
was not so bad. I mean, okay, generally it was bad, of course,
Yeah.
the situation in the world, but chess play. I know many chess players they improved a lot during Corona times. Really, so yeah, because basically you don't go to school.
Yeah.
You are studying chess. You are playing chess. You are playing good tournament. You have access to online classes and so on. So I know many players, mainly especially young, of course, they made a big jump immediately after they start to play. I mean, over the board tournaments.
I remember, for example, Vaishali, okay, sister of
Yeah.
Pragnananda. I'm sure you know her. She's playing
Of
in
course.
the Women Grand Prix now.
Of course.
And I remember I was playing online tournaments, a lot of, especially there were ladies tournaments and so on. And she was playing so good every time, and I didn't know her. Like before coronavirus, I was traveling a lot, playing a lot of tournaments, but I never saw her. I never heard of her. And suddenly, after coronavirus finished, she is now a grandmaster, man grandmaster. So,
Yeah.
Which is a good example again.
Yeah.
Of the school.
So what do we have here? We have white is thinking after move knight rook c8. Yeah. What is the current position?
Yeah, rook c8 is the current position, and white is taking his time.
Well, yeah, it's okay. As I know, there is knight takes b5 idea here.
Does it work?
Yeah, always. Basically, I mean, it's like in every single position that knight takes b5 is a move to calculate. Is a move to calculate. White takes two pawns, hoping to take exactly, hoping to take another.
Right?
Yeah, and here white continues like nothing happens, like h4 maybe, I don't know. There is such play, but maybe not here. Yeah.
I think I remember when I was a kid, I was playing these positions with white.
Yes.
And every time I was sacrificing on b5 because I saw some games and I was very excited. I was like, yes, I'm taking them. every time my coach would say, "Don't give up your piece for these pawns." But like during the game, even if I didn't know, it always looked so appetizing, and
Mm.
I couldn't keep the urge to
Yeah.
sacrifice my piece on b5, you know?
Okay, so okay, some like move prophylactic move like king b1 they're always
Yeah.
possible. Let's say, I mean, the concept can be like a lot of prophylactic, like knight e5, one more prophylactic queen e1 against knight c4, and if knight c4, bishop c1.
So basically, we're just keeping the bishop on the
Yeah,
chessboard
yeah.
instead of exchanging any of our bishops with the knight.
And white keeps the position, then slowly trying to play
Yes.
h4, h5, and continuing just. And
Well,
one
this
more.
looks very nice. By the way, I had this idea to keep the bishop, and then we started
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
other stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, just save the bishop.
Save the
You
bishop.
have a problem, and you're trying to save it. So maybe king b1 looks pretty fine
Yeah.
as a move.
So
Because we know knight e5, knight c4 is the next move. And if knight c4 here right away,
yeah, then I have time to create my own threats like takes, and h4, h5, and black is probably not in time to create like real counterplay on the queen side, like h5, g6, yeah, and still knight takes b5 sometimes might be working.
Well, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so probably critical is still knight e5 and queen e1, and that position is okay, like typical Sicilian, typical. What else do we have? Let's follow our players.
Let's follow our players.
Yeah,
Shall we
UAE
start
Grandmaster with Salem.
Salem.
Salem made a quick draw yesterday. Probably he
Yes.
was not that happy with the opening. I mean, and now he's playing black with black pieces against Vugar
Manafov.
and an international master. Well, honestly, I don't know him.
Me too.
Well, yeah, but so many young players.
Yeah, we have new players every
Every day we can
yes.
say we can say every day. Okay, so what do we have? What is the name of the opening, Maria?
Well,
Torre
attack.
Torre attack. Okay,
Yeah.
Toreador. Okay, no, Torre Eugenio Torre from
attack,
Philippines. Yes. Yeah, this.
I was waiting to see if it's gonna transform to some other things.
Yeah, legend player from Philippines. He was very strong players in the beginning of 80s, beating world champion Karpov at that time and many other grandmasters. So maybe he was top 10 in the world.
Oh.
Yeah. So Eugen Torre. By the way, he's still playing. He's 60 years old.
Oh, still young.
Still young, yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Still young. D5.
Okay.
And well, I mean, we're officially out of the book or anything. So bishop e2, knight d7.
Yeah, but is bringing the knight to e4 as like a strategical idea.
That's what I was thinking, but he played knight b6. So can we say that f5, knight f6 looks like to be one of the main ideas that black wants to do? Because first of all, it is stopping white e4 in any position.
But yeah, this is like the main strategical idea. I mean, you have double pawns. You move the pawn to f5. You put your knight on e4, and anytime white captures, you just undouble your pawns, and you have like normal structure. And don't forget black is bishop's pair. So
this looks pretty logical. This,
it's everywhere in
this structure.
Yeah, exactly. In bishop b5, Rossolimo, in Spanish opening, in Menderes.
Why didn't even play c4? So what's the issue with doing this?
I don't know.
There was nothing stopping.
Correct.
f5.
Yeah.
And with the tempo, looked very logical to just play f5 here.
Okay, what did
with the typical ideas? He played knight b6.
Yeah, as coaches we can explain everything, but of course we don't know the. Let's say maybe there is some nuances here. Yeah, maybe he plays against c4, bringing the bishop to e6, and then later on like f5, and knight comes back. But I don't know.
Bishop came to f5. Knight d3.
Well, I don't really understand.
Took, and now f5. And g3.
Stopping eventually f4, but...
Does it stop? Can I start another attack at some point? Like h4.
h5, h4. Yeah, this is
H4,
this
yes.
yeah, and then again, white black should bring the knight to e4. I mean,
Yeah.
c6, knight c8, knight d6, knight e4.
Well, knight b6 stopped the c4 idea for a while, but after c4, black always had c6, or could even capture, which is one of the ideas in the position.
Or even c5
Yeah.
in some positions to activate the bishop, the g7 bishop. So what happened?
a5.
Okay, white is trying to, black is trying to take some space.
Space, yeah, rook e8,
Queen b3, yeah. And
rook
bishop.
d1, and c6. Well, but I see the attack coming at some point.
Yeah, the bishop comes to d6 and then h5,
Yeah.
h4, as you
Yeah.
said. And now, if white plays c4, black gets the b4 square for the bishop. Let's say immediately, yeah? Yeah,
No,
yeah, why not? Yeah, exactly.
just for the future.
Yeah, bishop b4 and black got stability on the queen side and then slowly pushing there,
Yeah.
like h5, king g7, h4, rook h8. Okay,
Absolutely.
not the same maneuver as rook on the sixth, but still open the file and give checkmate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like black's position, to be honest.
Yeah, black's position is fine because especially, I mean, it's not clear what white can do. I mean, probably white should fianchetto the bishop. This is what I see, like yeah, that's
you
like
mean to bring
to
the bishop
prevent
down, yeah.
the attack. I mean,
And then
just
c4.
and then c4. Yeah. So first you put the bishop on g2, you pressure on d5, and then you play c4, trying to activate.
Yes,
the,
and maybe put some pressure on b7 sometimes.
Yeah. So bishop f1 and bishop g2, and then c4. Yeah, this is our probably advice. Yeah, for whites.
And for black, the idea is just to try to push here and create some sort of an attack on bishop d6. If black get a chance to bring the knight to e4, can bring the knight to e4.
But even to g4 maybe in
Even
some
to
scenarios.
G4.
Yeah, some scenario and sacrifice on e3, h2, and so on. So
Yes.
again, some like, let's say typical beauties.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game. Shall we check the game?
Yes, Omran
Omran.
Al-Hassani, what is he doing?
Yes. Let's see Omran. He had a nice position yesterday, and
what had happened? I
he
didn't
lost,
follow. I didn't follow till the end.
basically he sacrificed the exchange that we were thinking he's going to sacrifice.
Yeah.
But after sacrificing the exchange, he exchanged the queens
All right.
at some point. And after exchanging the queens, black simply took the advantage back, and at some point it was very hard for him to...
Yeah. Okay. So today he
Okay.
plays with
Well, there is no game yet.
no coverage. Yeah, this game is not covered.
No, it's not. Shall
Not.
we try Rhoda?
Of course. Rodal Circle. She plays with.
She's playing against Turkish international master Umut Ata Akbas. And this is her position, and look at her time. I am worried about her
39
time.
minutes only. And after, let's say, 10 moves, 11 moves. Wow.
Worried about her time. Seriously worried about her time.
And. Okay.
Okay, bishop f4, we have London system. e6, e3. Okay, normal. And c6, c3, h6.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not really necessary, but okay.
well, h6 is usually played so that maybe she wants to play knight h5 now.
She
so
wants to
that
play knight
prevents
h5.
bishop
Yes,
g5,
she wants
yeah?
to play. But h3, just copying. No, bishop
d3 and not knight h5.
On knight h5, you know that white can play just castles, and
Yeah.
and I can use that pawn later to play f5.
Yes, I know, but
But
I think
nothing
like
wrong.
most of the players are usually
yeah,
trying
of
to
course.
keep the bishop on
But what do
the-
you do after, let's say, after knight h5, bishop e5? Because you can't play f6, and if you take on
Yes.
e5, I will take by pawn,
By
and
pawn.
your knight is a little bit.
Maybe g6 is kind of forced now because g4 is on the way.
But we are used to see fianchetto
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
bishop, not the knight. Okay.
Okay. Bishop d6 is the
Yeah,
main
absolutely,
move.
absolutely.
I'm not saying
Bishop
bishop g3. Okay, I think they take here.
in
This is
some,
one of
let's
the
say,
moves,
similar
yeah.
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is exactly here.
Castle, queen e2 is interesting. Rook e8.
Trying to get e5, but you
Yeah,
don't.
Knight d5. Maybe better just to exchange the bishops and then try to.
But
Maybe
now
when
the
knight
h5
a4 is coming, yeah.
h file is up. You know
Problems.
what?
Then why
As
didn't
no,
castle
no,
yet?
as I know, black should play here. There is no queen c7, by the way, because d takes c5 and black
You
is
lose a
losing a
pawn.
pawn. But wait, and if queen to e7, then the same problem. Knight comes to e5, yeah, and you don't get
Yeah.
e5. You don't get
Even knight
e5 move.
h5 is not coming because.
So what black should play?
So basically, white did a tricky move here, by the way. The queen e2.
Yes.
White is not rushing with the castle, which is usually happening.
Okay.
And now black's bishop g3 idea is not working much because white can always put some pressure on the h file. Maybe it's a tricky move, as I see it. Rook e8, knight e5, a5 and a4. Okay, where is this? A5 is interesting move and a4.
Just scaring white in case you make castle long.
Yeah.
Then I can play a4 and continuing my attack there. a4.
And rook b8.
Rook
Why
b8
rook
is a
b8?
mysterious move.
Why rook b8? What's her idea? Maybe to play c4, b5 somewhere.
But knight hangs
Take
on
knight
c6. Well, rook b8, yeah.
But I'm wondering why she spent so much time.
Okay, probably, for the last, let's say, 5 moves, because it was not clear why h6, when to play, knight e5, preventing e5. So for black, for instance, I don't see a clear plan. What do you do with black? Maybe queen e7, provoking f4? Queen c7, sorry, instead of rook b8.
Yeah.
Provoking f4.
I think.
Queen c7, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do.
Can I take?
Well, this pawn I'll give you. So bc6 or queen c6. No, queen c6, bishop b5. Yeah, this I'll give you. Take an e5, and
E5,
I think
yeah, it's interesting.
I have nice center and okay. Now rook b8 then is coming,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not that easy. So and if white plays f4, like let's say a typical move, yeah, to keep the structure of queen c7 here f4. And now the bishop, okay, bishop on g3 is not a bad piece because white can maneuver to it to h4, put some pressure there. No, it's still something is wrong in black setup.
Yeah, I'm
Something
not
is
liking
wrong.
something. I'm
And
trying to remember how we, the
No,
bishop
h6,
is on
h6,
c8.
h6 was losing time, I think.
I think there are some lines in this kind of structure where the bishop is already on g4.
No, okay, that's
Yeah,
different.
but,
Yeah. Okay, here black can, the rook on e8 is a losing time, is a lost, just black lost a lot of time. Instead, knight e7, b6, bishop b7, trying to get to e4 square. Let's say, here I cannot play even b6 because knight c6. Knight
Yeah.
e7 I can play
This looks
to get the
interesting, yeah.
knight to f5. And let's say castle and b6, this is the usual stuff. And playing bishop b7, knight e4. And yeah, playing for this. But again, same checkmating idea. Bishop h4, rook f3. Yeah.
We push the f4 every time, rook f3, rook g3.
And this is the...
Life is easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Chess is easy.
Same scenario can be here.
Chess is easy, life is easy.
No, but what we do actually, I'm not kidding Maria. So what? Bishop h4.
No.
Just
I'm
make
not
a move.
saying anything. I like
Just make a move,
active game.
and then my next is rook
It's not
h3.
losing right away or anything.
Yeah.
You give some stress to your opponent because my pieces are coming on your king,
Yeah.
and you have to do something about it.
Yeah.
I will never say no to that.
So at least this was useful, yeah. If you know a new maneuver,
Yeah.
to bring the rook into attack, to get the game with.
If we have kid viewers, not only kids, they can see that we have the f4 rook f3 every time.
Okay, so what else do we have? Ahmed, what is Ahmed doing?
Okay, but I'm wondering why. I think if Omran's game was not live, most likely Ahmed's.
Ahmed Ramethi.
Okay, no, he's live.
He is, yeah. Maybe it's just probably temporarily.
Okay.
So he is
47.
nothing down, which is
Isn't-
already a big.
Yeah. And the king is.
Big success and a big, let's say, and the king is safe, yeah.
French opening.
Is he playing white or black? He's white.
white,
He's
he's
white,
white.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Knight f6. There is also bishop f6.
which is the main move, but
Yeah.
then white give a chance black to take with the pawns. Okay, safe position. Okay, bishop h7 is the
Yeah, if queen d4, there is always bishop h7, e5, queen h5. Okay, let's go.
and
Let's
g6,
attack.
queen
He's
f3.
not.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Queen b6. Knight b3. Interesting.
Okay, good.
Okay, it went well.
So it shows that he can play chess. He can play like, let's say, good normal chess. Yeah, just
yes.
developing the king, making castle, and just putting the pieces on the center, doubling on d file, bringing the knight to c5,
I'm happy to see that
h4,
now F4s were
h5.
played
Yeah,
today.
exactly. So he can play like just normal chess.
Yes.
Okay, the position is good.
The
We are
position, I love white's
and look at the
position.
time difference. He's
Yeah.
1 hour against 49 minutes. So
I only hope he will not start pushing the pawns too much at some point.
no, the pawn h actually he can push h4, h5, and
But not fc. I don't know.
on the queen side. Yeah. Okay, good. So what else do we have? We have the game of Omar Noman.
Is this Abdulrahman?
Abdurrahman is playing. All right. So this is the I know
Okay,
the
you're
position. I
student.
know everything about this. He played a lot of games. This is Nimzo
Okay,
with
let's
a3.
It's yeah.
Okay, I mean this move order.
Yeah.
And this is like called Sarana line. Because Sarana likes this maneuver with knight e2, knight g3 later on. So it's a pawn sacrifice and knight g3. Yeah, just white is ignoring the threats in the center. Because if you take twice on d4, I just pass by and play e4, and then I have the majority in the king side, bishop's pair, and so on. So
Yeah.
he knows pretty well the position, and f4. Yeah, this is the point. And if black takes, then e4.
Black didn't take.
Yeah, black never takes
Rook b1.
on d4.
Yeah.
Almost never. I mean, yeah. And king h1.
Let's just show so that viewers see. If takes e4.
Yeah.
And e5 is on the way. And then
e5,
pressure on
f5, knight h5, and again rook h. Okay, this is already probably too much, but
we're going to call this tournament rook f3, rook
yeah,
h3,
exactly.
rook g3.
But you know, when I see the pawn on f4, it's like calling for this rook maneuver. So it's like everywhere.
I really hope to see rook f3, rook
At
h3
least
in one game.
Yeah, exactly. Not only in our comments, in our Okay, so here what did happen?
Okay, rook d8, rook b1.
And king h1. No, h3. Okay, I think still some games played in this position. Yeah.
Takes and
He took.
e4. Okay.
He took,
He
yeah.
eventually took, yeah. Knight
Yeah, and
e7,
here queen
c2.
c2 is still good.
Okay, g6.
Is this the game
Is
of
this f5 there?
this is the game of Abdurrahman with Roda from the last round of UAE men championship this year, July. Yeah, what it was July.
I have to
Okay.
proudly say that Roda won.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was a big success for Roda.
Yeah.
But okay, it was not exactly this, but it was the same variation. The same variation, and what was black's
This is the position.
g6? Yeah.
Yeah.
So white can't push f5 because knight on g3 hangs. And
f5, yeah.
and bishop f4 is not a queen trap because
h4.
queen h4 is the threat, the square. Okay. And how to continue the attack? So white doesn't want to play queen f2 because knight c5 comes. So how to defend the knight? Or maybe just to move the knight? Knight e2? Creating, by the way, the threat of knight takes pawn.
It's coming.
And knight takes d4 maybe. Can I go
I want
greedy?
to push f5. I
No,
can
of
push
course.
f5.
Yeah, if you let me, of course I will. But
Okay,
creating
let's see.
another threat of
How to protect d4 pawn?
how to protect the d4 pawn. You don't need it. Probably just b5 and f5, bishop c4. No. Not really. Yeah, but why not? Then I got the square e5 for my knights. I can bring, I mean, the pawn d4 now I'll just push the pawn.
Yeah.
If you let me to
Okay, can I
do
go
this.
with the knight f4 maybe?
Yes. And take, jumping with one of the knight to, taking
I
with the
take
knight.
with the knight, yeah.
Okay, this I missed this.
I was
this move.
told the knight is the best blocking piece in front of the
Oh,
pawn.
okay, good. Some strategical lesson for our viewers. Yes, and then anyway, I'll play knight e5. So and I need to change the
Wait,
blockading
but,
piece.
I win a piece.
I'm losing a piece.
I win a piece,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry. So if you talk too much and you are good at strategy, for sure you are missing some
Yeah,
simple
yeah.
tactics. So just less talks, more correct moves. Queen d6 maybe. Just going out of the pin and preparing the move knight e5. And now one of the knight to e5.
Let's check.
The,
Okay, this one, I see.
That one, yeah, probably. And how do you? Yeah, so basically maybe you can try somehow
Can
to
I
bring
go
the
with the
queen.
queen c5?
Like that. I thought you want to
Yeah.
play with f6 and bring the queen to h4, h6.
If I can bring the queen to h6, I'll be obviously super happy.
Yeah.
But it's not getting
Or
there.
queen
That's
to
the issue.
g3 at least. But how to do this?
How to do this? If queen f2, you have knight d3.
I do.
Takes.
I'm taking more.
Takes.
And apparently white is exchange up. But knight takes e4.
Let's check.
Knight takes e4. I have two pawns. And two pawns, and the d pawn
this pawn
is
is a monster here. Yeah.
right.
This pawn is a monster here, so we're not going to make it happen. So after g6, actually, he's thinking maybe knight e2 is not the main move, but what's the black's idea?
Well, blacks, I want to play knight c5. Let's say b6, knight c5, queen d6, knight c5. I mean, any, let's say, just preparing the move knight c5.
My intuition is telling me white's position has to be completely fine here, and there has to be something working. Okay, he did a move. He played king h2. Okay, he wants to play f5.
He wants to play f5, yeah, but then the knight will be pinned. Okay, maybe it's not that bad because bishop comes to f4,
knight
yeah,
h5
yeah.
maybe somewhere.
And then knight h5, yeah,
Yeah.
correct, very good. I like your idea, Maria. So bishop f4, then queen f2, knight h5, sacrificing there, and okay. So first of all, the threat is f5, winning a piece, yeah.
Yeah.
Winning or not?
I mean, I have bishop d5, but
Yeah, but then the king is really exposed to all the.
I don't think you want to take that. But what to play? f5?
Well, f5 looks pawn. Looks pawn. I don't know. Looks pawn. I can take the pawn
Agree.
for free. Maybe f6, but f6 is somehow weakening too much.
f6, f5, bishop
And bishop to
f7 is your
f7,
idea.
And then
bishop
I
f6.
want the square e5 for my knight, but
Okay, f6 looks interesting. Can I go with the bishop c4 kind of a move?
if you have bishop spare, do not change. Okay, I'm
But
sorry.
also the bishop is
Yeah, but
blocking
you
the
know
pawn.
what about this typical? No, here doesn't. Okay, you know this typical idea of King's Indian, e5 with white, and if f takes, then f5. But no, it's not the case. It's not no.
But if f5 now, bishop
Yeah, f5
f7
is absolutely
has to be
normal.
something.
Bishop h6, rook e8, and here just e5. No, e5 doesn't work. How is to?
e5 looks like a free pawn, yeah. Can I just try to open the
But
f5
how free is the pawn, Maria? So take on g6, pawn takes g6 and e5.
Yeah, here.
How do you
here
take back?
maybe, yeah.
How did?
I have to
And
take
then rook
maybe.
f6.
Then rook f6. And
Then
if
rook
I
f-
take by rook,
Then bishop g6.
then bishop g6.
You
If
take
queen
by queen,
e5,
bishop g6.
if knight takes, queen is hanging. So
Yes. Yeah, this
Hey,
e5
this looks
is
nice.
like.
And if the bishop takes, again e5.
Well, here I can think already about many other ideas, or not so many.
To bring the queen somehow. Checkmate.
Checkmate. Okay.
Maybe even queen b3, queen b7.
Oh, very good. But knight c5 at the end.
A6 is not
But knight c5 at the end, then we give checkmate.
Bishop c4 check.
Well, king is on a
Yeah.
check. Bishop g7 check and bishop c4 checkmate. I mean,
Oh wait,
we can show
the king
that.
wasn't here.
Yeah. So queen b3 check.
Yeah, right. I forgot the king is on
Yes.
the
King
check.
h8, queen b7, queen
I was
b7.
trying to do the same. Bishop
Yeah.
c4, bishop g7.
Knight c5, bishop g7 checo, and bishop c4. But this is not a checkmate.
Okay, knight e6, but
And
can I just go with the
this is yeah. This is nice. This is the all
Or
the pieces are.
bishop f6 simply.
Mm-hmm.
Rook g7 on the next move.
Oh, also good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It was some cooperative chess.
yeah, good attacking
Yeah.
chances for Abdurrahman after king h2, the move that we like probably. Yeah. So white is just putting more. I mean, the threat is f5 and not easy to defend against it.
Yeah.
So
f5 is on the way.
black is facing serious problems. Okay, I don't know.
Maybe to move the knight f6, but still f5.
Still
even,
f5, then bishop f4.
This knight has to stay here, trying
Right.
to at least have the e5 square after white plays f5. But yeah,
Okay, good game for Abdurrahman.
he played and found a
And-
very nice idea. And who else we have here?
We have Amran. Can we check one more time
let me
if
try.
the game is online?
Let me
And
try.
if the game is online, then we can we
No.
would complete our mission. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not
no,
online.
still not. Yeah.
By the way, we have a draw on board number 2 and board number 4. We have two draws
What happened there?
already.
Can we check, Maria? What happened?
Of course. Okay, basically not much happened, and after bishop e7, knight d5 was played.
All right.
Captures.
Yeah. Board number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, rook b8,
And
c3.
c3. Okay, more or less this is what we.
Yeah,
And b6. This is a
B6.
little bit.
c takes on d4, bishop f6.
So b6 was basically to defend the pawn, to play the pawn c5.
Queen e2, knight e7, queen a6,
White is up a pawn, but
yeah, castle,
but compensation.
knight f5, knight c2. Well, nothing much happening. It's just a clean game, to be honest. Bishop c3, and they played at queen f6, and they agreed to a draw.
Well, if we count correctly, white is still a pawn up. What else? I mean, why not to continue like queen c3, queen d3, protecting c3, queen f3?
Well, I don't know if it's in the regulations or no, that if they are allowed to do a draw before 30th move or not.
Honestly, I don't know, Maria.
Yeah,
It's,
me too, me too.
but I think white
So
could
apparently
continue.
it's not.
White could continue, in my opinion. Just queen d3, queen f3, and trying to
Well,
to continue.
Black is more than happy.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah. Black,
position to
yeah,
do it.
probably black is active. Yeah, and I agree. Okay, and what happened on board 4?
Board number
Because
4
it
after
was a
knight
very
a4.
sharp game. It was a very sharp
Yeah,
game.
we were bringing the rooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Bishop a7 happened. Rook a7.
And
Rook f1.
not
Okay,
castle.
it's coming. d6
And but
takes g3. It's not coming.
not anymore.
Knight c5, a5, knight e4, queen b6, queen f2, and they agreed to a
Black
draw.
is better here, I believe. I don't know if better, but at least no problems. Well, a little
according
bit
to
strange play
evolution-
of white, like rook f1, g3, knight on a4. A little bit
Yeah.
not.
Knight a4 was not the move that we
No,
were expecting.
No,
But well, we have two draws already in
two
top
draws.
board.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think there are going to be more draws, and I feel like only one or two boards are going to have decisive results.
Well, this is quite logical because
Yeah.
the players are more or less the same level. They are
Mhm.
solid. And let's see the game on board number 1. Let's see the. Here is oof. He is really oof. This is what.
Okay, a lot of bishop f4,
As we predicted, here will be a very sharp game.
queen b4 happened, bishop
Right.
b3,
All right.
e5. Obviously, bishop b3 the only move.
Yes.
Again, as you call it in Sharjah Chess Club, it's a double attack.
And what about Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi also, it's a universal language.
Wow. I thought Abu Dhabi they have their own secret language of.
We do.
saying, yeah. Okay. Good.
But I cannot open it up. like this.
All right. So
No,
then
just,
let's.
I'm joking. I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Let's have the official version. So e5. This is.
E5,
And then knight e4 comes. Yeah. It's a pawn.
bishop g3, knight d4. It is a pawn.
It is a
Knight
pawn.
d4, queen e4, f4,
Okay. Good.
bishop e6. Wow, we're going to have a very, very sharp game. Bishop e6. Okay, takes, and here black simply returned back the pawn because there was not much happening. d5, rook hf1, rook f8, rook f8, and black is thinking.
Honestly, I like black here.
Yeah, me too.
because
With this,
black is active. The
file?
bishop is better. I mean, bishop e7 is better than bishop on e3. Black is active. Black's structure might be better. I mean,
black maybe shall take with the bishop though.
or king.
The king, I didn't want to exchange the queens somehow. I don't know.
And why not, Maria? This is pawn
Still, I still
h4.
have
But
an
what about
attack,
pawn
but
h4?
Right, correct.
Well, not always. I want to give checkmates. I can be happy with the pawn up.
Just a pawn.
Yeah, it's just a pawn, coach. It's just a pawn.
It's just a pawn.
Did I tell you the story
No?
about just a pawn? Okay, it was my first year or maybe my first month here in Abu Dhabi club,
Okay.
and Isa, okay, one of my student,
Mhm.
a very smart boy, and I don't. It was I put just a position, a combination, and you need to find like 3-4 moves and win a pawn.
Yeah.
And after like long thinking, with my help, he found the solution and said, finally he said, coach, and all of this is just for a pawn. Imagine, in my
That's so
phone, I play a
disappointed.
game. In 10 seconds, I kill 10 monsters, and here after half an hour, just winning a pawn. And really, I had no argument. I couldn't say anything. So you are killing 10 monsters in 10 seconds. And here, you need to think. You need to find and just a pawn. And coach, just a pawn.
Isa could say it,
Yeah. So really, it's like no. But he was like 7 years old, and it's really conclusion was like, I couldn't like find anything. I mean, yeah, it's the right conclusion. I mean, what? But by playing other game, like he kills 10 monsters in 10 seconds.
And here it's like
Yeah, just a pawn,
in
just
30
a pawn.
minutes.
So really, as a coach, for me, it was like something. I was like, no words.
You didn't have
I could,
answer.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
You didn't know how to explain that
No.
pawn is actually sometimes a big
Yeah, but how to compare with 10 monsters? You kill 10 monsters.
monster.
Okay, so what do we have here after rook f8 and black
You're
is
still
thinking? Yeah. Okay, black is much better, I believe.
Yeah.
Black is
I
just
think too.
better. I mean, structure wise, pieces are more active.
Mhm.
Bishop is better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so board number 3.
Board number 3 after
Yeah.
f6, knight c6,
It's an endgame as we
Yeah.
predicted,
captures,
and c3. Okay, or
takes,
taking and c3.
takes, bishop f4, two bishops.
Also preventing bishop f5
Yeah.
because bishop d6.
Uh-huh.
Now castle.
King d7,
Now the threat is bishop f5.
h4 was played.
Was the threat bishop f5?
Yeah, I mean it's logical, right? Let's exchange a pair of bishops.
Well, probably white just retreats the bishop to f1 even. f1
yeah.
and then bishop f3, pawn
Mhm.
f3, and then I take all your square. Okay, f3, yeah.
This looks like the structure sometimes after Petrov.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this Petrov structure. Yes,
Mhm.
you're right. So b3 to stop bishop f4,
Yeah.
and bishop
Yeah, bishop
f5, and then you
f5,
retreat the bishop to f1.
And d5.
Mm,
Takes, okay. And where is the white's advantage now?
disappeared. Okay, still slightly better, but not.
Well, white had two advantages, right, in this position. One is pair of bishops. Second is that black has double pawns.
Mm-hmm.
In two moves, well, maybe there is a logic behind it, but
Okay,
I wouldn't tell my students to do this.
Yeah. Okay, white got an activity. I mean, just bringing doubling the rooks, but still doesn't look like something real here.
I have a feeling. Oh, okay. I have a feeling we are going to have a draw very soon. In this
Yeah,
game,
Maria, good intuition. So
yeah.
probably many draws today. We'll see.
Shall
Okay.
we check the board number 5? Or They're
Yes.
still playing
The Queen's
middle
Gambit
end
endgame
Yeah. Knight bishop d2.
happened.
Yeah.
All
Takes.
happened, and bishop e8 happened, and
Knight
knight c5. So it's not easy to
And
defend,
rook b8.
to protect the pawn. Just rook back and rook d1 taking the file, or rook c1.
Mhm. And by the way, again, Clementi is very, very low on time. Second day in a row. It's
Yeah.
hard. When you're always in time trouble, it's so hard.
Yes, yeah, but okay, you keep your
Yeah, that's
your
what it does.
just you keep the game playing on, and
Board number 6.
yeah, and let's go to the Sicilian. Yeah, this
Yeah.
sharp Sicilian. We were checking the
Rook
maneuver king
c8,
b1, queen e1, and so on.
H4,
No, yeah,
95.
young
21,
generation they don't play back. No, they do sometimes. They do, and then
Knight c4.
and
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 What?
white is thinking.
Is just bishop f2, trying to hold the bishop.
But then I have sacrifices on a3, like d5, not no, it's too aggressive.
Let's see how
Too
we
much.
can make this work.
Okay, what about the move queen c7 with the threat knight takes a3?
Can I?
Aha, Maria, back to your
Childhood, yes.
yeah. Actually, here it
Let's check.
might work.
Not my pieces, anyways.
Yeah, queen d7.
Queen d7.
I just don't want to give you anything.
Mm.
And you have queen no,
Is
queen
there
d4,
a
d5.
move like take, knight d6 takes in e5?
Sacrificing too much. Okay, you take the one piece back, but not two.
Yeah.
You
but
are already
I got
one
a
back.
Pawn.
Okay,
Another
I can play something to d5, put the bishop or the knight on d5.
Right. And Volodar is thinking in this position.
After move knight c4, yeah.
Knight c4, and he's like 40 minutes down on clock.
Yeah, so white can give the bishop or play bishop to f2 g1 to keep the bishop, but
he has to calculate because
has to
maybe
calculate,
one
yeah.
tactics and it can be a game over.
Right.
If you miss one tactical opportunity for your opponent, it can cost you a point.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have enough time. And we can say that there is going to be a lot of tactical chances. But maybe this is a critical moment now.
It is
Yeah.
indeed, because okay, or you give the bishop and continue the attack like h5, or you try to keep the bishop, but then it's a lot of calculation because it's black the side who is attacking. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Usually, such kind of position you should have it from home. I mean, it's like
This
should be the level of the level
Yeah.
of preparation, because one wrong move and the game
that's
is
it. Yeah. I mean, if you're actually ready to play this position with the g4, then you have to have this homework.
Of course.
Done. And if your homework is not done, or
Yeah.
maybe it was done before and now you don't remember, then maybe you shouldn't risk to go for these lines because it's very sharp.
Yeah.
Okay. So, these are the games that we have today, and already 2 results on top board number 2nd and 4th. Okay, Ivanchuk, we forgot about Ivanchuk today.
We cannot. And this was Karo-Kan, the variation with Panov. Okay, this is the long theory. He's playing with white pieces, trying to outplay his younger. It was Karo-Kan. It's just Panov. The young Bobby Fischer beat world champion Max Euwe in this position when Fischer was 14 years old or something, or 15 or 14, I don't remember exactly. He was very young and he managed to beat Max Euwe.
By the way, Vasily Ivanchuk yesterday, he was struggling during the game at some point, right? But later, some things happened and I thought he was going to win, but it ended in a draw. So
So queen c6 check, king e7, queen takes b5 or queen c5, but there is a funny move here, queen c5. You just
knight d6.
And then you take on d5 and make castle. And okay, if black knows everything, black managed to equalize, but if you don't, then you just lose that one. And this is the most famous position in chess. With many games played. And as I know, black should hold this one, but okay, it's not easy.
It's not that easy,
So.
But maybe a good choice by player.
By Ivanchuk, with the black pieces.
Ivanchuk is going to try to squeeze. King g6, rook g4.
Repetition one time and just b3.
It's 2 times now. Okay.
And rook to c5. And rook to a4. So white is probably trying to play rook a5 and eat the pawn, but
now he's thinking.
Don't forget about the d4 pawn that can march very far.
Can it happen now?
It's white to move.
King g6.
And now
let's say rook a5.
That one, I thought the other one, trying to eat, to eat the pawn, but d4. No, d4 is fast.
There is no checkmate.
No, this is very fast. Wow.
But f4, rook moves, f5, king h5. What is actually happening here?
Can I eat the bishop?
Ah, right, right, right,
And
right,
f5
right,
king
right.
h6, and you take the rook, and I'll give you
Yeah, yeah,
everything, and
yeah.
I'll just
Yeah,
queen.
can be,
Yeah.
can be. Let's not give up the. But d4, huh? D4 looks
Yeah.
pretty
Okay, so
promising.
can I prevent this
Maybe with bishop
by
d4.
playing? Oh yeah, bishop d4. Yeah, but you know
I think he's going to give
what
a
they are
check
saying
again.
about rook and game, that
Yeah, yeah.
all are drawn.
But check. I feel like he repeated this position like almost twice, and then he changed
Right.
the move.
Here, actually, here
He's
white can play something like king f1, bringing the king closer to.
there is no d4 now.
There is no d4, yes.
Okay. That's,
And if h5, I
can I
give.
go with the rook a5
Oh
maybe?
yeah, why not? Yeah, intention is very simple.
And if you play a6, I'm gonna play rook a4.
Winning a tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And preventing d4 because the king
Yeah,
is
yeah,
kind of pinned.
yes. Why not?
Okay, he played bishop d4 here.
He did play bishop d4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vasily is in a very peaceful mood today,
Yeah. Apparently. Wants
but
to
still
do
he keeps
faster, maybe.
some chances to
Yeah,
outplay.
he's going to put some pressure on these pawns.
Yeah. So white risks nothing here,
Yeah.
and can improve this position. Yeah, bringing the king, pushing pawns, queen side pawns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we check the game on the first board to see if there was some
Yes.
difference and then go to some break? No, nothing changed here. Shall we take some break?
Right.
And we'll be back very soon. One more time. You were following the round 5 from Abu Dhabi Chess Festival 2024. And thank you, Viorel, for being such a nice company.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria, for inviting me.
It's
as
always
usual.
fun to have you in the studio. Hope to see you later too at some point
Yeah,
again.
for sure, I will come. And good luck to all UAE players in this tournament. And see you soon here in our studio.
Don't go anywhere. We're coming back very soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 30th Abu Dhabi Chess Festival 2024 in the capital of UAE, Abu Dhabi. And we have very interesting games. One more time, we have 14 players with the top points, which is 3.5 out of 4. And today we have interesting games, especially on the first board where David Paravian is playing against Amin Tapadabai. And we stopped on the position of rook f8, and after rook f8 it continued with the bishop f8. And most likely black decided not to exchange the queens, or it was not actually exchanging the queens because, as we said earlier, the h4 pawn will fall if queen f4 check, but still black decided to capture by bishop. White played b3. This move is pretty interesting, counting the fact that nothing is hanging right now, and maybe there was an open file. Maybe rook f1 was possible to take the open file, and bishop a3 trying to capture the pawn. Then maybe white could play bishop b3, but white decided to play b3 right away, and it followed with the bishop b4 move. Queen f2 was played with the idea to play rook f1 and try to go queen f7, bringing the pieces into the black side, but rook b7, and simply even after rook f1, f8 square is covered by bishop, f7 square is covered by rook, and even f6 square is covered by the pawn. And instead all of this, white has serious problems with the black squares on the queen side. And white played bishop f4, trying to transfer the bishop to b2, but here black has rook f7, and after the bishop is pinned, it has no place to go. Rook f7 was played, g3, and after g3, simply I have the live game, I can bring it for you. I think, is there g5? Is this winning a piece? Looks like this is winning a piece. Yes, it is a piece, but what to do? White understood that already a lot of problems were there. Wow, so white just gave up a piece. Wow, this is crazy. But what else to do here? I mean, it's not easy to play. The queen doesn't have a move. Is there queen f3 trying to exchange the queens? Okay, so what is the move after this? Black is going to exchange or no? Let's say takes, and yeah, still black has a positional advantage, we can say, in this position. But white decided to go for bishop f4. I don't know if this was a blunder or... No, I don't believe it was a blunder. I think it was a sacrifice. But rook f7, and after g3, g5 most likely is going to happen in the game. So, well, let's see for the moves. I can see them still playing, calculating the lines, and again on the second board we have a draw. We will move to the board number 3, where we had the rook endgame, and after rook d6, rook d6 was played. Barat versus Nodirbek Yakuboev. Pawn captures, and rook d3 was played. Well, the position looks pretty equal. Obviously, they are going to play a little bit more, but rook e4 and g3. Rook e2. Throughout the break, during the break, I had a chance to go to the playing hall and see what is actually happening there. And yeah, the games were pretty interesting, and everyone is still in the mood to fight. After rook e2, black currently is attacking f2 pawn, and Well, if to protect by rook f3, maybe. Yeah, rook f3. Why not? And after king d5, maybe there is simply king d1 and pushing the rook out of the e2 square. But white played rook c3 check. King d7, rook f3 now, okay. First push the king back. What was the problem by bringing the king to d5? Ah, rook c7. So black king had to stay on the 7th rank and then rook f3. This was smart. b6 and king d1. Now the rook will have to leave the e2 square. Rook e5 was played and king d2. And h5. Still looks pretty equal. White is simply waiting for the black king to leave the square just to come to rook c7 and try to enter to c7 or c6, but I don't see this happening, and white is low on time, which is giving black some chances to fight. Again, we had the draw on the board number 4, and on board number 5 rook b8 was played after knight c5. b7 was hanging and black has to protect it. Rook b8 was played, bishop f3 and g5. Rook c1, knight b4 attacking a2 pawn, a3 was played, knight db5, nothing crazy, h3, h6, knight d3, king f8 maneuvering, and king e7. And again, looks pretty equal. Of course, black is fighting for a draw, and also we have to mention that Narayanan is leading too much in the time. He has 51 minutes versus 1 minute. And Hichev is again in a time trouble, just like yesterday, but it didn't stop him from actually winning the game yesterday. So you never know what's going to happen. This means nothing when it comes to these players. So king e7 was played. Okay, how to continue here with white? What kind of ideas they can create here? It's not easy. Maybe just try to bring the king into the game, king f3, but king f1, there is king d6, knight c4, and, well, maybe king e7 and let's say king e2. But the problem here is that there is always rook c8 because the knight covered the c file. Maybe after king d6, just try to play knight d3, trying to still bring the king. Maybe now there is a threat, e4, e5. But now another pin. Yes, this is absolutely not easy for both of them. And but especially with the low time in this kind of positions, well, black's idea is pretty simple. If white attacks somewhere, black has to protect it. This is how it's gonna be, I think, in this game. But otherwise it's not. I don't see black trying something crazy with the time control with the time trouble that he's facing right now. So king e7. King e7 was played. The position looks pretty equal. I'm trying to see the other games, what is happening on the lifetime. So this is board number 5, and let's see board number 6, where Volodar Murzin. This is interesting. Sicilian, and white has only 3 minutes on the clock. So after knight c4, white played knight b3, decided to give up the bishop, didn't move the bishop, and black just let this bishop stay here. But it would be interesting just to capture it. And queen e3, knight c4, as we said earlier, or queen c7 now, just to let this bishop go. And after queen c7, white sacrificed this bishop, not sacrificed, like gave away this bishop, as he wanted to get rid of it. Knight b6, knight d4, bishop e7 is a pretty natural move for black. King b1 and d5, breaking through. Castle might be interesting. Maybe white simply didn't want to get his king under the white's pawn's attack. Maybe f4, h5 might be possible. So d5 was played, and white captured, knight captured, knight captured, bishop captured. White tried to open the position a little bit, but now black has two bishops versus bishop and knight. The c file is completely ruled by the black pieces. It's controlled by the queen and the rook at the same time. And bishop d3 was played. And again, also on this board, there is a big time trouble for Volodar. But I believe his game is easy, as long as there is no checkmate. Okay, how to continue with the black pieces? If there is no checkmate directly, still, let's say if black tries to do a castle, is it very risky or not really? After castle, how can white create an attack here? Maybe trying to push the pawns, but I don't see how. I do not see how to push the pawns. Maybe try to exchange more pieces. Bishop b4. Then black is kind of forced to exchange the pieces. Pawn. Can we somehow hold this bishop and not exchange it with the other bishop? No, bishop e4 is coming, and it's not that easy. There is no checkmate. There is no checkmate, and there is no any other direct threats for any of them. In the normal time in the game, what is happening is the following. Okay, so after bishop d3, actually castle was played. Bishop e4 was played. Okay, that's interesting. Of course, white is trying to exchange the pair of the bishops, and rook d8. And here white played c3. Well, thinking that this bishop is not going to stay on the chessboard for a long time, white decided that there is no issue with the weakening the white squares. And also black might have been threatening to move away this knight, take the bishop, and maybe c2 would be hanging, so white decided to strengthen the position, and h5, sorry, c3, bishop c5 was played, and as long as this bishop is no longer protecting the pawn on g5, attacking the pawn on g5, h5 was played. h5, and this is the current position. And in fact, black is on 28 minutes right now, and white is on 1.5 minutes. Well, everything can happen in this game. All three results, to be honest, are possible in this game. White can win, it can be draw, and black can win. So after h5, what is the black's next move? White's next move. Okay, bishop d4 doesn't give anything. Is there a move like... no. Can black try to push the pawns to a5 b4? But how? But how? Let's say queen b6, for example, but g6 is on the way. g6 is coming. And if black plays g6, then it simply captures. g6 is on the way. How to stop g6? Not easy. Black has a serious problem here. g6 is actually coming. Okay, maybe try to play something like queen f4, g6, and e5. Is there knight d2? If knight d2, bishop e4 with check. So bishop d5 has to be played, and rook d5. And after g takes on h7, a very important moment for all our viewers. If the king captures this pawn, it gets easier for white to create the attack on the king. So simply black king can just go and cover behind the pawn with the move king h8. And this might be interesting. So, okay. Yeah, so this is the position and the game is still continuing live. A lot of things happened on the first board. And on the first board, we are seeing a real fight. So black actually played g5 to take the piece. White captured, black captured. Okay, the bishop is going to be gone soon. Queen b6, creating some attacks on the pawns. So white's idea is basically just to capture some of the pawns on the board and try to create something, because strategically white's position was already bad. So white is trying to find some opportunities where he can create something crazy, confuse the position, confuse the opponent. This is a very, very common thing to do. So black captured, queen took it, the pawn by check. King f8, queen c8, sorry. White captured f4 pawn, trying to open the g file. And queen g6 was played. And apparently, according to evaluation bar, white is winning now. Okay. So in the game, queen c8 was played. Is there some tactical opportunity that we don't see? Queen c8 was played, king g7 is the only move. And after king g7, it followed f5. Was there something better instead of queen c8? No, queen c8 has to be played. But maybe the white's advantage is not as big as the evaluation bar is thinking. Queen c8, king g7, and f5. Okay, what's the idea? If the queen takes, then there is rook g1 check. And it's a checkmate, basically. Is it? King h6, queen h8, if queen h7, simply wins queen. Okay. By the way, if the bishop was on c3, maybe this whole line wouldn't be working, because there was rook f1 checkmate in the end. But okay, taking by queen is not possible. Taking by pawn. Taking by pawn. Okay, he actually took by pawn. And if black was taking by rook, what was happening now? Queen b7, and simply, as Vieira likes to say, double attack. White is losing the bishop, so black took by pawn. And apparently this was the only way to play. Wow. Okay, how to continue here with white? And why evaluation bar thinks that white is doing better than never? Okay, how to create some attacks, some threats. Maybe rook h1, queen h8 checkmate is the idea. How to stop this? How to stop this? Okay, if rook f8. Rook f8 always check. And black is losing the bishop. If bishop f8. What about e6? If rook is 7. I'll check. And if queen f6, there is... Wait, white is winning a queen again. Rook g1. Okay, so rook e7 is not possible. Rook f6 shall be played. And after rook f6, what is happening after rook f6? What is happening after rook f6? Oh, so what was the black's mistake? Queen g6. Queen g6, according to evaluation bar, while black was supposed to play any other move and agree to a draw. But black went ambitious. Queen g6, and most likely he blundered f5. Most likely he just missed the opportunity of f5 and e6. e6 is on the board. e6 is on the board. Wow. But without rook h8. Maybe there is a difference. e6. Okay, if rook f8 now, again, queen b7 every time. If rook e7, rook h1, then queen e8. So one more time for the viewers. Here white was supposed to play rook h1, trying to bring the queen to h8 and give a checkmate. And black doesn't have much of the moves. So black is supposed to play bishop f8. All other moves are simply losing, apparently. Or losing a queen, I mean, at least. So bishop f8 and then e6. And the thing is that if rook f e7 or any other plays queen c3 check, and if rook f6, then there is queen c7 check, king g8 and e7 maybe. No, but Paravian had time to calculate all of this, and he pushed the e6 pretty fast, and Tapadabe happily played rook e7 also very fast. Okay, okay. So this is interesting. Now rook e7, now what to do? I mean, black is piece up. Black is simply piece up. Wow. Okay, let's check what is happening on the chessboards of local players. Salem is still playing, and we stopped on this position. Oh, a lot of things happened after this. Rook c1, c4, one of the ideas that we offered for white. Bishop b4 was played, rook c2, queen f6. Takes, knight f3. Okay, rook d8, everything is going fine. Rook c1. Okay, black eventually did the idea of pushing h5, h4. h4 was played, bishop g2, takes, queen g5. Okay, so Salem simply sacrificed an exchange with the idea, I guess, that after black takes control over the h-file, there will not be the bishop on g2, just stopping all the white squares. So king g2 was played and f6, knight c4, and this is the current position. Well, what happens if, okay, queen f5 was played. Next move is rook h8. What happens if rook h1? Can black simply give a check? Or wait a minute, after b5, black is winning a piece. No. Takes, if knight a3, simply bishop d2. Huh. This might be interesting. Let's see. This looks like the game that Salem is going to win today. Wow. A lot of interesting stuff. I offered to go to the game on board number 5, where Narayanan is playing against Sichev. And after move number 24, apparently a lot of things happened. Knight e5, king e7, knight d4 was played, bishop d7, and white captured the bishop. King takes and rook d1. King e7 and g4 was played. After g4, rook c8, king g2, and the position looks very equal. Rook c7, king g3, white is trying to find some ideas. Knight b6 was played, b3, and Sichev style. Let's take the knight back. Knight to d5. h4, knight c3, okay, everything looks logical. Rook h1, black continued with the check. King g2 and, well, rook c8, interesting move. White captured and black captured, and this is the current position. Looks pretty equal, except the fact that Clemente Sichev is very, very low on time, and this might play a role, but we already saw that he plays pretty good with the low time. Like sometimes this can be possible, that a player puts himself in a time trouble so that he will be more concentrated in the game and find the moves faster or calculate better. And meanwhile, it's psychologically hard for the opponent, because opponent has to find the best moves, and it's not easy to control yourself and take your time to think, because you want to play faster thinking that your opponent is actually going to run out of time. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, and when it doesn't happen, you realize that, well, I could have played better, or I could have played slower. So it's hard. Okay, to be honest, I expect to have a draw on this board, on the board number 6. Castle, bishop e4. Okay, they just got here. On board number 6, let's see what happened there. Okay, so after h5, black played bishop c4. Yes. And g6. G6 was coming, and bishop d4. Okay. Because any other move is just letting white to open the position and start the attack on the king. So bishop d4 and intermezzo. White captures the f7 pawn. Again, one more time, if pawn captured the pawn on h7, there was simply king h8. Only move. I mean, which black will find. So white captured f7 pawn, and queen captured, and the pawn captured on d4. Actually, there is a chance that this game will also finish in a draw. Okay, what to play now with the black pieces? Or how with the white to start an attack? I would have still tried to play with the black pieces, because first of all, white is in a big time trouble. He has only 1 minute on the clock, 1.5. But it's pretty easy to play with the white pieces. Like white wants to, let's say, play somewhere queen e3, rook g1, maybe double the rooks on the g file. And for black shall try to push before somewhere, trying to create something. Maybe white's game is actually easier than the black's game. And rook d7 was played here. Well, it seems pretty easy. Maybe black is planning to double the rooks on d file and attack on the d4 or queen f6. Like queen e3, queen f6, and now this rook is no longer moving to g1 because d4 pawn is hanging. Let's see what is the best female chess player of UAE is doing. Okay, looks like she's struggling. Yep. Okay, she is struggling. F4 was played, yeah. And she doesn't have time. Yeah. It's very, very unpleasant to play this position, for sure. For sure, yeah. No, it's lost. Well, yeah. Yeah, it was not the best game that Roda could show. From opening it went, from the opening it went pretty wrong, to be honest. Yeah, hope she will recover, and she has 2 points in the tournament, which is of course not easy, and she's pretty young. She's playing in Masters tournament, and she's going to have better games in this tournament. That's what we're hoping for. And meanwhile, on the first board, we have moves. And what happened after rook e7? Black played queen b8, and white continued queen g4. Okay. What is going to happen now? Can white simply play rook h1? With the idea again to give a check, queen h8, and then checkmate. King g6, queen h6. How to stop this now? How to stop this now? King g6. It's not easy. Maybe bishop d2 to control the h6 square. And let's say queen h8, king g6. And well, if queen g8, simply king f6. And if queen f8, king e6 is possible. Okay, king e6 is actually possible in this position. After queen g4, still thinking, yeah. But looks like rook h8 has to be the only move there. I can see they are still playing, they are still fighting. Okay, let's see what's happening on the third board. A lot happened actually. So h5, rook f4, d5, rook f3, king d6, and rook c3. And after rook c3, g5 was played. Pretty aggressive. But apparently black is trying to break through somehow and win the game. After g5, captures, and rook c8. Rook f5 was played. King e2, g4. King e3. Rook f3 check. King e2, rook f5. Okay. Okay, they were repeating here. They repeated a few times. Okay, they are repeating. Okay, this game is going to finish a draw. pretty soon. They apparently they repeat it for many times. So I see them, both of them, just sitting there, and well, they didn't finish in a draw yet. Okay, they are just repeating. I don't know what's happening. Why no one is offering a draw? Yeah, no one is offering a draw. But I can obviously see that they repeat it for a few times. Okay, I think this is a draw on the third board also. So we have two draws on the board number 2 and 4, and on board number 3 no one is offering a draw. I don't know why, because they've been repeating. And on board number 5, board number 5 we have a draw, and board number 3 we have a draw. So I can see that they already finished, they agreed to a draw. We have all peaceful results on board 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, sorry, 5. And board number 6 is still fighting. There is still a fight happening there. After queen. Okay, a lot of things happened after. Okay, queen f7. Rook g1 was played. And black played rook c d8. Queen h4 was played. And bishop b3. Okay, just for the notice, if black tried to take this pawn on d4, there was a simple tactics with the bishop h7, and after king h7 white was just capturing the rook on d4. So bishop b3 was played, rook d3, bishop c4, rook d2. Okay, now the rook wants to enter to g2. And black played here queen e7. Queen f4 and rook f8. Well, black has problems. And queen h6. And queen h6. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How black is going to stop losing the pawn on h7? This is game over. If the pawn plays to g6, simply captures. This is game over on board number 6. Very nicely played by young chess player Volodar Murzin. This was a very nice game. Wait a minute, queen f4 and black had time. And again, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, when your opponent is in time trouble, or you're in time trouble, and you're more concentrated. Your opponent tries to do faster moves, and sometimes because they think that if you play faster you are going to do a mistake, and suddenly the rook f8 is being played like pretty fast. Yeah, I can see black played rook f8 in just 1 minute, and queen h6, and it is game over. After queen h6, how black is going to play? Okay, rook f5, then white is simply taking an exchange. And this is winning for white. Yeah, maybe just... I mean, there are many ways. Rook dg2 is winning, queen a6 was winning. Okay, queen h6, this is winning for... And well, we didn't check the board number 7 throughout the day, and I can see that they have a very interesting position after rook e5. Rook fe8 was played, it was an equal position, and queen c5, queen g8. White has 2 knights versus a rook, an unequal material. Knight d4, rook e5 was played, queen e5, and queen e6, and knight d4. So this is the current position. Wait, a2 is not hanging, queen c4. This is the current position, and queen c4 was played. So Indian player Grandmaster Leon is going to win here against the Italian Grandmaster Lorenzo Lodici. So we are going to have, we have two boards already where we're going to have a decisive result. Here black is winning because if knight c2, there is simply queen f1. And if knight c3 or something else, then black is simply taking the piece and it is game over. So we're going to have 0-1 on board number 7. We have draw on board number 3. We have draw on board number 5, and on board number 6, queen h6 was played, and after queen h6, okay, it exactly happened as predicted. Rook f5 was played, bishop f5 takes, and white simply captured queen a6. I believe that black will resign soon. And I think we shall check the board number 1 because a lot of interesting stuff is happening here. On board number 1, we stopped on, okay, yeah. Bishop d2 was played in this position. So white played queen b8, queen g4, rook h1, and bishop d2 was played, and this is the current position. And it's not easy. Is there queen h2 move? Queen h2, bishop is hanging. If the bishop goes somewhere wrong, then there might be, okay, let's say bishop g5. Rook g1, rook g1. So okay, let's say bishop e3. Bishop e3, queen e5. Okay, this is queen h2 might give a lot of problems to black. If bishop d2, okay, if the queen moves, rook g1, queen h2. Queen h2 is giving a lot of problems to white now, to black now. Okay, I can see on board number 7, most likely white already resigned. So Leon Mendonca is leading with 4.5 points. Right now, he has more points than anyone else. Okay, after queen h2, bishop g5 looks like to be the only move, or bishop f4. Bishop f4, because rook f4 is not possible now. Okay, what happens after check? King g6. Again, rook h6 is not possible. If queen g8, king f6. Okay, now queen f8. And if king e6, is there rook e1 check? Rook e1. If bishop e5, rook e5, king e5, queen e7. What is this endgame? Looks pretty drawish. Looks pretty drawish. But everything can happen in this position. Okay. What else can be there? Bishop d2, and white is taking his time. Paravian David is taking his time and thinking about the move to do. I think most likely queen h2 is going to be on the board. So there are, I can see he played queen h2. As you can see, queen h2 was played on the chessboard. And apparently black doesn't have much choice. Bishop f4 needs to be played here. Because any other move allows rook g1. And if bishop e3 trying to stop queen rook g1, queen e5 check and takes the bishop. Queen h2, and we can see Dabadabai. Both of them taking their time. Well, bishop f4. Bishop f4 needs to be played. But after bishop h4, there is a simple draw with the queen h8, queen g8, and queen f8. And any other move black might be losing. Bishop g5 is obviously another opportunity, but after bishop g5, trying to stop the close the g file, there is queen h8 check. Sorry, there is there was rook g1. There was rook g1, and this is lost. Black has to give up a queen. Bishop f4. Bishop f4 needs to be played. Otherwise, white's bishop sacrifice might be the best move of the day. This might be a game of the day because it was brilliant sacrifice of the bishop after white realized that strategically their position was way down. He just sacrificed the bishop, and it was brilliant idea. And after it, how he played, yes, okay, black let the queen g6 move stand on the way, but that is not the point. The point is that the position was so complicated. Are we going to see bishop f4 on the board? Is he going to play the bishop f4? Bishop f4 needs to be played, otherwise the top seed of the tournament might not have the result that he wanted to. Bishop f4, the only move. We can see them in the camera. He's taking his time, but his time is going lower. It's already lower than 3 minutes. Okay, he's calculating probably queen f4 kind of moves, but if queen f4 kind of a move, there is always queen h8, and if king g6, simply rook g1. And white is winning a queen, so queen h2, it was very nicely found, and black is, and after bishop f4, it's simply a draw. White can do a draw. The question is that white will try to do some other ideas, if there are any, or white will take the draw. But it's not easy. Maybe they will just go to the queen endgame, and I believe he's right now calculating the queen endgame. Okay, he wants to do a move. He has 2 minutes on the clock. It's only 2 minutes on the clock. He plays bishop f4. He plays bishop f4. He finds bishop f4. Queen h8 was played on the board very fast, and king g6. Obviously, the only move was played also very fast. And now, are we going to see this queen endgame? Are we going to see this queen endgame? One more time, I would like to remind you that we have draws from board 2 to board 5, and on board 7, one of the leaders, Black, has already won, Leon Mendoka, and on board 6, Volodar Murzin has a very winning position, even though his time is low. And on the first board we have this King G6, and not much is happening. Because we say always check the first checking moves, and there is only one checking move here, which is, wait, is there a move like Rook G1, Queen G1? There's only one checking move, Queen G8, King F6, Queen F8, and not much moves here. King E6 needs to be played, everything is forced. And maybe simply just repeating the position, Queen C8 check, King D6, and giving perpetual. Obviously Rook E1 is a possibility here. Bishop E5, Rook E5, King E5, Queen E7, and this might be another option that we can see on the board now, on the first board. Well, they are both getting in time trouble. They are both getting in time trouble. This is going to be very interesting. So King G6 was played, and 2.5 minutes for David Paravian to do his move. Most likely he's making the choice between going to the queen endgame or trying to give a perpetual, or it is actually a perpetual or no, because he cannot risk this. What a game, what a sacrifice of the bishop in the middle game. Okay, and we have a move. We have a move, and A4 was played. A4 was played on the board. White had a draw with the Queen G8. White had a draw with Queen G8, ending up giving the perpetual check, and A4 is not helping, but okay, what to play with the black pieces now? And what's the idea of A4? What is the idea of A4? Well, the idea is to give a move to black to find a move. Because one wrong move and everything will go crazy. Black cannot move the queen, first of all. Cannot move the bishop because it has to stay there to protect the h6 square. And if bishop g5, does this bishop g5 trying to protect the rook maybe? Queen g8, king f6, if queen f8, king e6, check. Let's check the same position. Is there a difference between bishop f4 and king d7? And if queen c8, simply queen f7. And the difference is that after rook h7, black has king g6. And if queen g8, king f6, queen f8, wait a minute. King g6, looks like a draw. Okay, we have a move. Bishop e3 was played. So, bishop e3 was played. Stops rook e1 in all lines. And stops rook g1 in all lines. What happens now? Queen g8, king f6. That's the same idea. Move will work. Queen f8, king e6. Okay, queen c8, and now the rook is not protected. Let's say if king f7, then simply rook h7. And if king e5, checks. Does this work? Is this actually checks, 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 or not really checks, checks, checks? So bishop e3 was played. Bishop e3. 1 minute on the clock for David Paravian. 1 minute on the clock. He has to move. He has to move very soon. Like very, very soon. 50 seconds. Queen g8. Queen g8 needs to be played. Maybe he doesn't trust that there is a perpetual check. Non-stop checks after the king e6, queen c8. Or maybe he doesn't think about queen c8 move. King a2, okay. But king a2 with the idea was supposed to be like to play rook g1 and queen g8 check. Which was not possible, sorry, because there is rook g7. Okay, he doesn't want to draw, but he has to want to draw. Or maybe he wasn't sure that it was a draw and he doesn't want to lose e6 pawn. Can black simply take e6 pawn now? Okay, this is draw. Is this? Check. King f6. And let's say queen f8. Yeah. Okay, very complicated position. Meanwhile, on the 6th board, we will have a result very soon. And this is the only game that is still going on from the top boards. King a2 was played, 30 seconds for Tapadabai, and he plays queen e4. Very good move. Queen e4. Queen e4, c2 is hanging. Rook h2 was played to protect c2 pawn. Okay, 40 seconds for Tapatabai, and he has to find a good move. What he can do, is there a rook c7 kind of a move? Let's say rook c7, looks pretty logical. Okay, he wants to play. After rook h2, he played bishop g5. Bishop g5, and looks like game over. It does look like a game over for white, because now all the ideas that white had earlier to draw this game looks like they are gone. Is there a queen h5 check? King f6? Okay, there's not even... well, this game is going to be finished very soon. Bishop g5, and black's position is winning. Because all the ideas are gone. No more perpetual checks. If queen g8, even rook g7 might be possible. Okay. Yeah. Okay, queen h5 was played. King f6. And rook e2. Okay, this is interesting. Wait, queen h4. Queen h4, simply pushing out the queen out of the h-file. And after queen f3, which is the rook e6. Rook e6. He played queen h4. Queen h4, queen f3. We are going to see the queen f3 move very soon, because of course it's forbidden for white to exchange the queens. It will be very easily winning for black. So queen f3, we will see very soon. And just rook e6, and black is winning. I don't see any reason why black shouldn't be winning in this position. Black is simply piece up. What a game. What a game. Chances for white, chances for black. Then changing, then it was draw, then in the time trouble, black simply ended up in a... Okay, queen f3 was played, obviously. Queen f3 was played, obviously, but now simply rook e6. And looks like it is going to be a game over, and we will have 3 leaders with 4.5 points in the festival. So he took rook e6. Yeah, rook e6 is on the board. Maybe we'll see some more moves, but definitely Dabadaba is not letting this win go away from his hands, especially with this time control. And one more time, we are going to have, most likely, 3 leaders. Leon Mendoca from India, Lorenzo Lodici, Volodar Murzin, a young chess player, young grandmaster from Russia. And looks like in this game, Amin Tabatabai from Iran is winning his game. And yeah, I don't see a way. White will try to play for more moves, but I think this is going to be it today for us. And your host was me, woman grandmaster Maria Gevorkyan. One more time, you were following the 30th Abu Dhabi Chess Festival 2024. And don't go anywhere, everything is just heating up in the tournament. And see you tomorrow for the round 6. See you.